hello. What's up tonight, everyone? Welcome. Fine Thursday to y'all. Good to see ya. Good to see ya. What is up, the real Dinotron? Caromanic, Bennymon, Ryu Planeswalker, Zelazak, of course, Fangrim, Advanced Twin, Milicu, Dr. Fattybax. How is everyone doing tonight? Oh man, I'm actually pretty hyped. We have not played New Standard since we got the banning. So today, we are checking out New Standard with a sub-theme of permanents that need to sit on the battlefield and don't do anything right away. Stuff that you just couldn't do very well with Teferi around, and some cards that are really sweet, and I'm really excited to play. Caleb Sweet, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. And Doug, of course, Day in Wildfire. Commander stream sounds spectacular. Welcome you to the Fishbowl as well. Thank you. I got to be a guest on Manicurve stream and play some Paper Commander. Ooh, how did Zyrus do, Doug? Did you crush everyone? So hopefully everyone's having fun. Hey, what's up, Diamond Doc? Hopefully everyone had a good day. Yeah, I'm definitely excited for some standard action. It has been a minute since we've been standarding, but I hope the format's good now. I don't know. What is your impression been, chat? How good has standard been this week since we got the bannings? Official Magic just did a VIP box opening. It was a train wreck. Yeah. I don't know what to say about the VIP booster. Like, okay, so you went after a good interactive game. Well, congratulations, Doug. That's super sweet. Heaps for the 4th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. So the VIP boosters. Okay, Mini Rat, we will play Magic very soon, I promise. Zedmaster, welcome. Good to see you. Count Jaku for the 13th month. Year and a month. That's impressive. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Official Magic Twist stream have blocked the phrase reprint fetch in, you cowards. Yeah, so the VIP boosters. Let's talk about this really quick. And my EV article is going up tonight. The spreadsheet was updated. I updated it yesterday most recently. So keep an eye for all that. But I gotta say, because this came out, I think, since the last stream, the VIP boosters. So, the VIP boosters. It started off, when they announced them, it sounded really sweet. Wizard said, you'll get 2 rare mythic box stoppers in every pack. And that sounded a pretty good deal. You get 2 box stoppers with an entire box. So, yeah, getting 2 in a pack, that seems pretty sweet. Like, I know the pack's $100. That's a lot of money for a lot of people, but the box stopper is probably going to make the pack worth more than that money. So that sounded good. Then we started seeing the common and uncommon box stoppers, and Wizards literally changed their article to say cards with rare and mythic symbols after people pointed that out. So there was the big uproar about that. So that's like kind of Wizards punt number 1. So we had that. Then we found out that rares and mythics, 2 different rarities, whatever, like that wasn't a huge deal, but still should have probably been made public from the start. And then just yesterday, Wizards was like, oh yeah, by the way, after people started questioning them from watching box open videos, they were like, oh yeah, by the way, you can't open 2 mythic box toppers. Nah, that's not actually possible. Oh yeah, and you can't even open 2 foil mythics in the same pack. That's not possible either. And this is what, 2 days before the set releases? After everyone's pre-ordered, after everyone's done all that. And I should say, because some people were confused by this, it doesn't actually change the EV at all. The same number, you'll get a mythic just as often as you would have before. Like, the distribution doesn't change the total number of mythics that are showing up. It just changes, like, how they will show up. So instead of getting 2 in 1 out of every 9 packs, you're going to get a rare and a mythic pack more often to make up for that. So it's not like you get less mythics overall, but boy, was the communication amazingly bad. And there's like a WotC stream where they were literally saying like, hey, yeah, you can open double mythics. Any combination is possible. So, what just an absolute PR nightmare. I mean, I'm used to Wizards doing like pretty harebrained, like horrible communications and miserable things. Like, that's par for the course. Like, we do this every day. We stream multiple times a week. I make Magic content for a living. I'm used to that from WotC. But this was like next level even by WotC standard. Like, this was so over the top as far as just not telling people things they need to know. So, but like I said, the value I think is still good. The EV article is going up tonight, but good lord, the communication left a lot to be desired. Thank you for the cheer, by the way. Ayagami! So that's my rant. That's out of the way. Kid Cozy, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you both for your subscriptions. Big super cheer for our new subscriber. Anyway, this isn't about VIP boosters. It's not about double masters. It's about playing some new post-banning. Get those wilderness wreck out of your standard. So I'm actually pretty excited for this. Mono Black Aggro is still pretty good for me. Fairly new player. Yeah, Mono Black Aggro is definitely decent. Louis TM handing out a bunch of gift subs to Domri, Joe Warbles, Turbo Scoop, Tireless Winter and Niche, and Josh Keel coming in with their own sub. Welcome y'all to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, let's do reminders. Start playing Magic because I want to play this Arkbow deck, and then we also have the theme, as I mentioned, is permanents that gotta sit on the battlefield. Number one, we're gonna play this Arkbow deck that has a lot of sweet cards. It's got Niambi in it. It's got Barons in it. This was inspired by a deck that someone posted on Twitter, and then I kind of added some of the stuff I want to change some stuff up. Added some Sublime Epiphanies, which I really love Sublime Epiphany. Then I also want to try this Mono Blue Devotion deck, which was also inspired by I think one of Autumn's decks. I don't know. Someone sent it to me on Twitter. I think Autumn, but then actually it's also inspired by the Gensod's deck from right after Nyx Lotus release. If you remember, I was really hyped for Nyx Lotus and thought Nyx Lotus was going to be busted, and Mono Blue Devotion was a busted way to play it, but then Teferi just kept bouncing it and made us very sad. But now we might actually have Nyx Lotus on the battlefield, so we got a couple of sweet decks that I'm really excited for tonight. The Holy Turnip God, holy subs, good lord, right off the bat, Thomas Flash with the gift sub from Holy Turnip God. Also Chaos Wool, Lutrich, Nepochim, and Bestunist. Welcome y'all to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscriptions. Big super cheer for you. So that's what we're playing tonight. Arkbow and then probably Mono Blue Devotion. But we need to do our reminders first. Quick reminders. We'll talk about the deck. Start playing Magic. Have you seen any good lists with Stormwing Entity? Not apart from we played the budget Magic, kind of prowessy style deck. That style of deck, I think, shows up once in a while. Kind of Stormwing Entity with, Sprite Dragon. That type of shell I've seen a little bit, but other than that, not really. Oh, Teferi was so bad. It was so bad. Oh, I can't believe they made that card. That and I guess I've said this about a bunch of cards. That and Wilderness Reclamation, though, good lord. Temur Pyromentals. Ooh, that looks super fun. Young Pyromancer is a card that's tricky. It's tricky in Risen Reef shells. I think it's really sweet if you can get it to work. You have this weird mix of needing creatures, specifically elementals for your Omnath and Risen Reef, but then spells for your Young Pyromancer. But that looks like a pretty good mix. I like it. Hey, it's King, the subs keep coming. Hey, Seth, if you have a duress type effect and also a discard effect, which would you consider the correct order that you should cast them, assuming you can do both? Ooh, so in the dark, not knowing the matchup, I would probably lead with the unconditional effect on turn one. Assuming there's, if I have Thoughtseize and Duress, and I'm in the dark, don't know the matchup, I would most likely lead on Thoughtseize, in case it's aggro, and I want to take, a Goblin Guide or another creature-based one-drop. If you know the matchup, it's different. If they're different mana costs, then it's, in Standard, it's more complicated, because, Agonizing Remorse is 2 mana, Duress is 1 mana. That kind of throws off the calculations a bit, but I think in the dark, everything else equal, I would probably lead with the unconditional one and then go with Duress. So that would, although it's kind of weird in Modern, often is flipped with Inquisition, because Inquisition hits anything 3 or less. If you have 2 discard spells, you would rather take the 1 or 2 drop with your Inquisition and then be able to Thoughtseize on turn 2 or turn 3 and be able to take a Jace or some Cryptic command, some more expensive play that you can't hit with Cryptic. So, boy, that's actually really, Magic is such a great game. Such a great and intricate game. Thank you for the host, Borderline Woods. But that's a really interesting question. Anyway, reminders. Replay YouTube. That's where you'd find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Normal YouTube. It went up a little late because there was a bug with the publishing on the site, but near-death experience against the odds up on the YouTube. Tonight, there's a Crim video. Also on the homepage, expected value of Double Masters and VIP boosters. We have our first donation of the night from from Kid Koozie, new standard baby, down with Teferi, thank goodness. Been fiercely running Salty Birthing Pod again and having a blast. Ooh, that sounds super fun, Kid Koozie. Yeah, I've definitely had, so far, I've been playing Pioneer, I've been playing Standard. So far, both of those formats have felt really good. I think I'm up to like 3 Pioneer Leagues in the last couple of days, and I think I've played 5 different decks every single league, and the most degenerate thing I ran into is like SRAM doing SRAM stuff if you can't kill it. So Pioneer feels very much fixed. Standard also feels way better as well. I mean, we always have some stories. We can have some story time, I'm sure. A reminder that our sponsor tonight is Card Kingdom, and if you need some magical cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. They got Double Masters in stock, well, for pre-order, going out on Friday, and a ton of other stuff. You can even get a free Scoop Soldier sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the stream. Otherwise, the Discord is new and improved. The merch page has tokens, t-shirts, playmats, donations. We already had one. They're always appreciated. Never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. You were always right about mana doubling. I've been beating the mana doubling trade for a long time, and I think Wizards has finally woken up to it. We'll see. We'll see what happens in Zendikar. Did you see there was a possible Zendikar leak today? I don't know if anyone else, I don't know if you want to see it or not. I don't know. Let me see if it's on the Reddit. I know it was going around on Twitter. I assume. All right. So, fair warning, if you do not want to see a potential leak of Zendikar, that look away, avert your eyes for a minute, and I will, and we will go back to it. So if you don't want to see it, it's on Reddit. If you don't want to see it, just look away. But we might as well look at it. It's the literal top post on Reddit. It was all over Twitter, so it's not very hidden. But if you're someone who's trying to avoid all leaks for whatever reason, fair warning, heads up. But the card is, that is leaked. And again, this is a leak. My guess is it's real. It looks real to me. Icy Doc, handing out gift subs to Young Frugal and Gooberson and Brennan Donner coming in with their own sub. Welcome y'all to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. So the leak card, if it is real, which again I would guess it is, it looks pretty real to me, but who knows? Crawling Barrens, colorless land, taps for a colorless, can pay for, put 2 counters on it, then you can have it become a 0/0 elemental creature until end of turn. It's still a land. So colorless creature land, 4 mana to activate it and put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. Starts off as a 2/2. Second type it'll be a 4/4. Probably the best comparison, I think, would be Raging Ravine. Raging Ravine, you start off higher. You start as a 3/3 that becomes a 4/4 on the first attack, but it's 4 mana to activate, so same cost as Raging Ravine. This has more upside long term because you're getting 2 counters, and it's whenever you activate it. So if you get to 8 mana, you can actually double pump it in a turn. Activate, put 4 counters on it. So I don't think this is going to be modern playable. 4 to activate, well, maybe like Raging Ravine. I guess it's possible it shows up in small numbers, but it's not going to replace like Mutavault. Being colorless is a drawback, but I think this is actually a pretty powerful creature land that is very good in control. We haven't seen, what is the one, what is the 4 mana one that gets cheaper for Planeswalkers that was from More of the Spark that I can't think of? Something, I can't think of it right now. It reminds me of a mostly better version than that. The upside is it gets bigger rather than getting cheaper. Mobilized District, thank you so much. I don't know if I was thinking of that. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe it's not real. I would guess it is. It looks like a real card. It looks powerful but not busted, which I guess is where you want it to be. So, seems interesting. Dodgego, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Are there any leaks? Only that one we were talking about, which was all over Reddit and so forth, or at least as far as I've seen. I mean, I guess I've seen like a while ago there was like, a Nissa from Zendikar, but it was just like someone posted some text on Reddit and like, hey, these are the abilities. So who knows if that's even true or not. That was a while ago. I haven't seen anything that was like as likely to be real as that one. Like it could, who knows? Like when someone just puts text on a post on Reddit or somewhere on the internet, like, hey, here's what the card does. How do you really know if they're just making that up or not? What do you think of Demir Flash Tell Teferi's God? I think the flash decks are good. Hopefully they're not too dominant though. I haven't played against them a ton, but I know they are around. We'll see. We'll see. We have a plan for it, which is Arkbow. So deck one tonight, we should start playing Magic. Deck one that we're starting with is a Vivian's Arkbow deck. So essentially, this is like a value-y, enter the battlefield-y kind of deck built around Vivian's Arkbow, which has never really gotten a chance to shine because it has to sit on the battlefield. But you can, for 2 mana, have it on the battlefield, pay X, discard a card, you go that many cards deep in your library, put a creature with that converted mana cost or less on the battlefield. So, for example, if we get up to like 5 mana, we discard a random card, we can essentially snag any creature in our deck instant speed. So, our creatures, we have some nice shenanigans built around Vivian's Arkbow. Stuff like Baron gets even better when it's instant speed. Deputy of Detention, also really good at instant speed. You can do some shenanigans where you can like get rid of an attacker and block, bounce something, get a 2-for-1 out of it. Spark Double to copy our good stuff. Flibble Flip draws 2 cards if we get it off of Arkbow. Niambi can pick up our other cards. Also, we got a lot of legends. Vivian's Arkbow, legendary. Additional Niambis, Barons, Tolsimers at the top end of our curve, Tristati. So we have a bunch of things to discard to Niambi to draw cards. So essentially, we're trying to stick an Arkbow, creature value our way through the game, and maybe my favorite card, which I just really love, is Sublime Epiphany, because remember, with Arkbow, what we really want to do is have it sit out, just pass the turn, leave up all of our mana. So Sublime Epiphany gives us, our opponent's going to expect that we are leaving up mana to Arkbow, and now we can get ridiculous Sublime Epiphany blowouts, where we counter something, maybe bounce something of our own, bounce something of our opponent's, draw a card, copy one of our good creatures, and just get like a 4-for-1 when our opponent's not even thinking about it because they think we're just going to Arkbow. So let's give Arkbow a shot. I don't feel like this deck needs Uro. Yeah, I mean, Uro, would I play? So part of the reason I don't want to play Uro is because Uro's everywhere, and I don't think it's very interesting at this point. It's just really busted. So I think it makes the deck less interesting because you tend to just win with Uro. Secondly, we're not really built to be an Uro deck. We're not filling our graveyard in any meaningful way. Thirdly, Uro doesn't do anything specifically good with, like, Arkbow, because it dies if it comes into play off Arkbow. So I could see, like, putting Uro in the deck just because Uro's in the colors and busted. But I don't think that Uro has any real specific purpose to our deck. Uro's not broken. Uro is so broken. Do I still think Uro? Yeah, Uro's definitely really? Does anyone not think Uro's OP? I mean, I'm not, like, calling for a banning or anything, but we have a couple of Frilled Mystics in the sideboard. I should have talked about the sideboard, but I forgot. Yeah, all right, we can scry multiple times. Should be able to find an Arkbow or something. I mean, I'm not saying that Uro's, like, Wilderness Reclamation or whatever, but it is a ridiculously overpowered, very strong card. I think it's probably even more so in older formats. We'll see what it looks like after the bannings in Standard. Kevin Zelda for the 32nd month. Hey Seth, hope all is well. Glad to hear about the new bans. Looking forward to Standard once again. Thanks for all you do. Looking forward to more great decks. Well, Kevin Zelda, thank you for your sub. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually pretty excited for Standard as well. I was all set to just not play Standard this summer, but the bannings, they drew me back in. Same with Pioneer. I was set to just not play Pioneer until they banned stuff, but then they actually did ban. They didn't just ban stuff, they banned exactly what I was hoping they would ban, really. Let's just scry. I don't think we want either of these right now. Opponent might be playing like Grixis, could be Dimir Flash. Should Uro be banned? I would not have been upset if Uro was on this ban list. Let's say that. Like, should it be banned? That is debatable. I think we can have a discussion about it, but I would not at all have been surprised or upset to see Uro added to the ban list. Alani and Spawn Love, thank you for your subscriptions. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Big super cheer for you. Hey, thank you, Spawn Love, for the kind words. I appreciate it. Well, go to combat. Get in. Oh, opponent. So one of the hot decks, I think, so far, the two hottest decks post-banning have been... I guess we'll keep those. The two hottest decks post-banning have been Teamer Adventures and Sultai mid-range, Sultai Ramp, Casualties of War. Like, I think those are about the two winners so far in Standard, or the biggest winners. Another Thought Erasure. Yeah, Graph Digger's Cage is pretty good in Pioneer. We might finally get to play Pioneer Dredge. We did a deck tech of Pioneer Dredge a while ago, right after Silver Smoke came out, but we never actually got to play it because Pioneer was so busted, but I think it might be time. Invader Ger1, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent's got the sweeper. Well, we run out Brazen Borrower. Untap, go to combat, hit ya. Play the land past the turn. Opponent's down to 7. Don't Nissa us. Don't Nissa us. Oh, they're going to Nissa us. Fable Passage cracks it. Oh, boy. Hey, what's up, Spirit on the Run? How are you? The Adventure deck is super fun. I really enjoy playing the Adventure deck. I almost played it tonight, but we've played it a couple times in the past. Well, now we're in a nice position because creatures are good, at least decent. All right, opponent's got more removal, and oh, Neon Beast's not the greatest. All right. Well, now we're behind the Uro train. Yeah, we were so close to the aggro win. Sir Cody Isru, welcome to the Fishbowl for the 1-year resub. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wonder why Wizards push all the adventure creatures so much. Gotta sell that set. Gotta sell Throne of Eldraine. So here's my theory. My theory is that with the switch to no blocks, so most things are just one set instead of having like 3 sets, 2 sets, most often 3 sets, staying in the same plane, same mechanics for a year. Play design is probably part of it, wanting to sell packs, but I think another part of it that's often overlooked is because we got rid of blocks, now when Wizards makes Throne of Eldraine, they have to... Well, now we draw the land. They have to make sure that the mechanics from that set are going to be able to see play while having just one set to make that happen. So you got to push things really hard because you only have a few cards with each mechanic. So I think that that's actually another big part of it. Uro. Who was it that was arguing that Uro was not overpowered as we lose to it? Do you think that Jund will be viable in Standard? Maybe. Oh, come on now. Well, counter a spell, bounce a thing, draw a card. I'm sure opponent has Mystical Dispute. Or something. Oh, alright. Well, now you get to Uru again. We had our opponent to 7 and almost dead. And now it's... Ugh. Yeah, they should have just banned Uru. I think they probably didn't want to ban it because it's $60. And it's still, like, semi-new. But I think they should have just banned it. I'm pretty confident that they should have just banned it. But we'll see. I mean, there's always another BNR update. There's a couple of Ashioks in the sideboard for Graveyard Hate. But the thing is, Graveyard Hate is not really something you play in the main deck in most formats, because while it's obviously good against Uro in specific, if you run into many other things, mono red, teamer adventures, etc., 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 then you're drawing dead cards in potentially losing because you're playing it. Opponent, another Ritualist Hook. Aches Wookie, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Opponent rests our board. Uro. Sure. I traded my full art Uro. Yeah, maybe Oost is probably worth considering in this deck, actually. That could be worth adding. Ashiok isn't just Graveyard 8. How many decks? Actually, I should take that back. I'm not 100% sure if Ashiok's in this sideboard or the Mono Blue Devotion sideboard. I put it in one of those sideboards, but I might not put it in both. It might be Mono Blue Devotion, actually. Gonna play Lucky Knights again soon. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anything or much has really changed with the deck, but I really enjoy that deck. So if y'all want to watch it, I'm definitely now playing more of it. I always get nervous when it's a deck that we've played. When it's a deck that we've played a lot of times. Is Arena dying? Shouldn't this Uro be going to the graveyard? That's awkward. I always get nervous about playing decks too often because I think people like seeing new brews and new cards. So I tend to like shy away from that. All right, opponent stuff looks like it. Opponent has returned. Puts a land into play untapped. Well, Niambi. Opponent is also all the way back up to 17. So much removal. Well, play a Tolsmer. We also have not found an Arkbow, which is our namesake card. Like, that is the card that our deck is built around. What do you think about hypothetical printing of legendary duels like Lotus Veil becomes Lotus Field? I would be on board with that. Or like Snow Duels. I don't think Wizards will do it. Wizards, at least in the not that distant past, has had this thing about the spirit of the reserve list, where they, I don't know. I wish Wizards, if you're not going to get rid of the reserve list, then circumvent it in, like, that's what makes me think it's not all about legal stuff. Because that's one of the arguments that always comes up with the reserve list. Like, oh, someone will sue them. Someone will sue them if they, break the reserve list. The thing is, Wizards made it clear that they don't even want to break the spirit of the reserve list. And if there's one thing about the law doesn't care about the spirit. Like, the law is just cold, hard facts. So the fact that Wizards won't do like Snow Duels or Legendary Duels because of the spirit of the reserve list. Oh my goodness! All right, so it's Uro. It's just Uro. Opponent plays a land. That's it. We have just officially lost to Uro. Gets in, draws a card. We will block and block. Opponent's drawn 100 more cards than us, I think. Oh my god. 8 more cards than us. Well, we double block. We stream Yu-Gi-Oh! Every night now, right? Or Hearthstone? we just call it Magic? Alright, sure. I mean, from what I've heard, gameplay is basically Hearthstone, economy is basically Yu-Gi-Oh! So Sultai pile of stuff. Sultai Uro. I think we should just call the deck Sultai Uro, because that is essentially what it is. What can we do against Uro into Uro into Uro? Well, I mean, this is just our first game. So this is, I mean, Uro's, I don't know why, Uro's obviously busted. Like, we knew that. Everyone knew that. That was clear before the bad eggs. So Uro was already one of the best cards in Standard, and it was the best, maybe the best card that didn't get banned. So I don't think it's like super surprising to see Uro doing good. But remember, this is just our very first game, so I don't know if you can out-control, I don't know if you can very reasonably out-control decks that have Uros and Hydroid Crosses. That's kind of the issue. We saw that when we were playing some of the discard decks. You'd consider this Bant Mythics? Really? I feel like we don't have any of the cards. I don't feel like our colors are Bant, but I don't feel like we share any cards with Bant Mythics. Like, very close to 0 cards with Bant Mythics. Opponent, thought erasures. Oh, we don't have Uro. We're not playing Uro. We're not dirty Uro players. Yeah, Ooze seems good to the sideboard. Might add Ooze. Bant rares. Bant bad stuff. Well, reading pool. Untapped. Probably should have just played it tapped. I don't think we're going to Arkbow for 3. Opponent plays the land untapped. Uro! Yeah. Well, it has begun. Opponent draws a card, gains some life. Sure. We have a new donation from. Well, alright. Run out borrower. Untap. Temple Garden. Go to combat. Hit ya. Back down to 16. We have a new donation from S. Corbett. $10 donation. I love that your stream has twice as many people watching it as Magic's official stream. Also, go Uro. Wait, you're rooting for Uro? Shame. Shame on you. I don't even know if we want to kill that. Does that even matter? Yeah, alright, you can kill that. Sure. I think our opponent mostly just wants cards in their graveyard for Uro. Alright, no whiff. We'll take a Flibblethip. Flibblethip would be sweet here. Yeah, let's discard Baron. Well, alright. Scrying is something. No, and I guess we keep Breeding Pool. That lets us dig a bit deeper. Well, Breeding Pool, untapped, hit ya. Down to 14 past the turn. Shame, shame. Opponent's going to Thought Erasure. Ouch. Yeah. Winner Page! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Gross Pyro's banned, thankfully. Uro should have, I think Uro very likely should have been banned as well, but hit our opponent down to 12. But Uro's coming. Opponent plays a land. And I mean, Uro is stronger, I think, in general than Euro Spiral. And it was just as heavily played. It's actually a little bit confusing why they would go. I mean, I guess the reason they banned Euro Spiral is it's rotating and Uro's not. But well, I guess we just deputy away the Uro for now. Opponent draws a card, gains some life. Thassa is sweet, it just doesn't really do anything on this board. Get in, hit ya. Boy, the life gain for Burrow's so good. Like, our opponent's up 6 life so far. So instead of being, like, at the edge of dying, they're still at a very healthy 12. Alright. Teferi. I would rather see Mystical Dispute and Uro get banned than Teferi. Teferi was definitely needed to be banned. I mean, I guess it would rotate, but Teferi was a huge problem. Like, we would not be playing either of the decks we're playing tonight if Teferi was in the format. Like, you can't play decks like this if Teferi's a thing. Well, it's awkward. We would have actually hit our one Frilled Mystic that was still in the deck. Opponent has another removal spell. We untap. Go to combat. Tag Teferi. Opponent loots with Teferi. Discards a land. Down to 2. We pass the turn. Aye. Yeah, Uro is... I mean, I got to preview Uro. That was my spoiler card. And I don't know if that came across in the spoiler article, but it was like a jaw-dropping card as soon as I saw it. Like, it's... I don't remember too many Oh, goodness. Not looking great.
If I were you, I'd just surrender right now.
Alright, so opponent gets all their stuff back. They get Uro. They draw a card, gain some life. Yeah, Sultai Mythics, I think, might be the #1 most played deck. If you look at the early tournament results we've seen. Alright, opponent cashes into Teferi, but Uros and Liliana's, it is a massive chunk of the metagame so far.
Smelly, but effective.
Well, I just previewed the card. Opponent plays Pellucrados, plays a land as Liliana, plays an Uro. Well, I think this one might be over. Might be time to move on to the next one. It's hilarious how broken 3 Fairy is next to the new one. Yeah, the new one, I think, ended up in a pretty reasonable spot. Yeah, I mean, we're dead. All right, sure. Yeah, I mean, this deck, it's just another pile of the best cards in Standard. I think it is maybe slightly more fair than the last batch. We'll see. We're still early in the post-ban format. I'm just hoping for diversity. That's my main concern with formats in general. Is that's what matters to me, is just diversity above everything else. Like, I don't really care what the top deck is. If the top deck's 20% of the meta, 25% of the meta, I don't care how miserable it is or how much I personally like or dislike it. Like, that is fine. I probably still need Ether Gust. So that's my hope. To me, that's what makes the biggest factor in what makes a healthy and fun format is diversity. Can try to dig for Frilled Mystic with the Arkbow. Could have countered their big spells. I mean, we only had one Frilled Mystic in the deck, so the odds are pretty low. Especially with stuff like Uro and whatnot, where we have a bunch of ways to answer it on the battlefield. Even the Planeswalkers, we have more like Barons and Deputy of Detentions to deal with it than Frilled Mystics to deal with it on the stack. So I feel like the math favors waiting for it to hit the battlefield and then trying to find an answer rather than the other way around. I mean, Standard used to be consistently diverse. I actually did. I think I'm going to write an article about it. I haven't written the article yet, but I tweeted about it a little bit. Like, if you go back through the last, what was the sample size? So if you go back to, I think it was not Gate Crash. Dark Ascension. If you go back to Dark Ascension, so this is like the end of Innistrad block. Exposed Draw in Alberto. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, are we playing the same matchup again? Oh yes, we are. All right. If you go back, well, looks like it's Sultai tonight. If you go back essentially the last 10 years, it was 25 Pro Tours. The first half of that sample, so we're talking like up till Magic Origins, a little after Magic Origins, so through like the Return to Ravnica, Theros, Khans of Tarkir, that era of Magic. There was, I believe, one Pro Tour that had the most played deck above 25% of the meta. And all the other ones were some of them were as low as the like low teens, which is incredibly diverse. And all the other ones were, 18%, 20%, stuff like that. That was that was almost every Pro Tour. And then if you look at the more recent half of the sample size, the more recent half, I think 9 of the 15 decks had decks over 25% of the meta, and that's where we were getting like decks that were ridiculous, like Oko 70%, Wilderness Rec 55%, which was just unheard of, like something that had not happened before that. So we did consistently have that diversity up until not that long ago. So the current state of Standard is a relatively new thing. That's what I'm trying to say. Red for life forever. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know if people can afford paper magic anymore, like people make 100K. Ooh, Tails End. All right. How do we want to do this? We do want to draw. We can... I guess we just... just Baron. Bounce Narset. Hit our opponent. Play a tap land. Blink Flibblethip. Draw a card. Getting close. Okay. Sublime Epiphany about to be online. Oh, Sublime Epiphany is so sweet. An opponent. Done. We scared them away. We Baron them out of the game. Baron is a card that I think is good. I think Baron is a card that is really sweet, and it might be time for Baron to actually see play. The problem is it doesn't do anything against... It doesn't do anything against, like, Wilderness Rec, so it didn't see play before. It was just, like, a dead card, essentially, very close to it in that matchup. But we might be in a time for Baron to do things. What are your 2 questions, Zegolt? How much do you need to factor in? The meta evolves much faster than it used to. Pro Tour happened very soon after release of new sets until recently. Well... Like, our last Pro Tour happened, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks after Core Set 2021? So there is some variance there, but I don't think that explains a huge percentage of it, because Pro Tours have been moving closer to set releases again recently, more similar to where they used to be in the past. So I think that might be some of it, but I don't think that is... like a primary factor or one of the main factors. Trim. There's a bunch of stuff we could bring in. That's probably good enough. The metagame evolving faster, I think, is an interesting question. Like, I think more games of Magic are played today because of Arena than there were in the past. So I think, to some extent, that's true. On the other hand, there were some reasons... Clevis, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Like, back during Khans of Tarkir, there was even more data, more, like, net decks going around than there are today. So I think, again, like, maybe that explains some of it, but I wouldn't say that explains the difference between decks consistently being around, like, 20% of the meta to decks regularly being 50, 70% of the meta. Like, that is a really, really, really big shift. Like, a massive change. You hate me? Chairman Meow, what did I do? What did I do this time? Wow, I let the Arkbow resolve? Interesting. Alright, opponent sharks it up. Sure. Naban is my favorite Magic card. Yeah, Naban Wizards would be fun. That's something I'd like to do in Historic at some point. Opponent. Narset takes it down. This might just be straight up blue-black control. Opponent. Hits us. Well, that's Baron. Bounce the Shark. Play a land. Nice thing is, all the counters in the world don't get around Vivian's Arkbow. And next turn, we can just start spinning Arkbow. And hopefully that will win us this game. Opponent. Eliminate. I mean, remember, I just spoiled Uro. I didn't design it. that was someone else. No, Fabled Passage, crack it. Grab a island and all right, pass the turd. Arkbow time. I don't even know how our opponent gets rid of it, honestly. Opponent plays the land. Blue-black decks are not good at dealing with enchantments. Another Narset. Sure, that's fine. That is fine. We're going to see the power of... Arkbow here, with our opponent having a handful of counters. Do you think they gave Uro to you because they thought it would be a fun against the odds card? I actually don't know. I think that they must have known Uro was going to be one of the best cards in the set. Because it was pretty obvious to, I think, everyone immediately. Alright, sure. Tails ends in Arkbow trigger. That is one of the more desperate plays I've ever seen. Oh, yeah. Found it. More Narsets. Plays another Narset. Sure. Chairman Meow. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. That's your way of showing your hatred. I like your way of showing hatred. Why is Arkbow in the deck? Arkbow is the centerpiece of the deck. It is the deck. And it's also, like, absolutely insane against what our opponent's doing. Well, alright. Flibblethip draw 2 is okay. Oh! Draw 1 because of Narset, but... Alright, sure. Untap. Go to combat. Ugh, Narsets. I will do a little dance with the rest of the War of the Spark Planeswalkers rotate. Oh, static ability Planeswalkers. Everything that makes me sad about War of the Spark. Siege Rhino Standard was really good Standard. I think that people thinking that it wasn't good is... It shows how good Standard was back then. That when Siege Rhino got to like 22-25% of the meta, everyone was like, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever. It shows how consistently good Standard used to be. Because that was like a big deal to people, where everyone was like freaking out about it. Alright, opponent cashes in Narset number 3. Cosby FZ was, I think, so if there was an issue with that Standard, it was mostly prices, I think, from the Fetchland Shockland mana, or Fetchland mana base. There is still a replay YouTube, Chairman. Let's see. The replay YouTube. Yeah, all the streams go up about a day after the stream. Well, let's go dig in. Discard a Scavenging Ooze. Ouch. We will scry. That is not what we were hoping to hit at all. So opponent gets a Teferi, loots with Teferi. Discards a land. We go to combat. We attack Teferi.
My time's getting short.
Yeah, pass the turn. Opponent loots with Teferi. Would Siege Rhino be playable in the current Standard? I mean, maybe post-ban Standard. I don't think it would have been playable in Wilderness Rec Standard. Like, Siege Rhino looks kind of silly compared to some of the stuff that's been going on. Amazingly Randy, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Well, we will do this again. Discard a news. Get a Flibblethip. Draw 2. Go to combat. Attack Teferi. Huh. Little shark. Well, we will borrow it. And Arkbow! That is an Arkbow win! That is 100%. Look at the hand! Look at the hand! Could you imagine if we were going to have to cast our creatures, we would have never gotten anywhere. That is, I think, a testament. We weren't even hitting insanely well with Arkbow, but that is exactly what you're hoping for when you play an Arkbow deck. Like, exactly. Opponents got all the counters, they got all this stuff, but they just can't beat an Arkbow, and now with Teferi gone, Arkbow actually stays on the battlefield. Who does the art for MTG Goldfish? Do you know if they'd be able to do altars? Ooh. I actually don't know that. I've never. It's Adriano Catani. I have never asked Adriano if he does altars. If you email me, Crazy M, I will connect you. I want to check with him. I've never actually asked him about just giving his email out to people. But if you email me, I will get you two connected and you can ask him about it. SaffronOlive at mtggoldfish.com. Well, that went pretty well. Also, we got to look at this. We got to look at this thumbnail. This thumbnail made my day. You might have seen it on Twitter, but Adriano is really good at what he does. It blows me away. See how many of these can you recognize? This is probably one of my favorite Adriano thumbs, and Adriano's done some classic thumbs. I think my favorites are when he references like pop culture stuff, movies, music, so forth. Yeah, Adriano's thumbs are great. This was one for last stream's deck, the 9 Lives deck. And it's so good. So this is like, I want to say it's Oketra, unless it's a character I don't know. Garfield. I actually don't know the name of this cat. What? I know the cartoons. It's like an old cartoon. I've seen it before, but I have no idea what the name is. That's like Tom and Jerry. Oh, Felix. Oh my goodness, Felix. What is this one? These two are harder ones. What is this one here? Meowth? Oh, it's Pokemon. See, I don't know Pokemon. And then what is this one? Like the round moony looking one. Obviously, this one is Princess Caroline. I'm supposed to know who this is? How am I going to figure out what that is? Is it even a cat? Tell me, chat! Tell me! I don't know what it is! Elmo? It can't be Elmo. Elmo's not a cat. Sesame Street? Really? Oh, an old anime thing. Oh, that makes sense. I don't know anything about anime. I have very, very tiny anime knowledge. And then what about this one? That one also looks familiar, but I don't know the name of it. This one, it looks like the Cheshire Cat, but it's Princess Caroline from BoJack. They look a little similar, but it's definitely Princess Caroline from BoJack. Oh, it's Hanna-Barbera? Fritz the Cat. But man, what a great thumb. Adriano's so good at this. And the thing that blows me away is he does this stuff so quickly. Like, he is so good at what he does. It blows my mind. Like, normally I tell him like what we need art for a day or two or more ahead, but there's times when I forget something or something comes up. I'm like, hey Dorado, can you do this? And he'll have something like this in like an hour or two. It just absolutely blows my mind. Like, boy, it would be so sweet to be able to do that. But yeah, that was a good thumb. That was a very good thumb. Top Cat? Top Cat sounds right. That sounds familiar. Hey, what's up, R. Perry? How are you? But yeah, send me... Heathcliff would have been another one that would be good on there. I stopped buying physical cards ages ago, so I haven't been financially hit by the bans myself, but I don't understand how Wizards cannot offer some reimbursement for banned cards. They could do it with more products, so it wouldn't cost them as much. they could do it with more products so it wouldn't cost them as much. What do you think? Do you think judges should be liable for the errors and face repercussions if they make the wrong call, like referees in sports? I mean, referees in sports aren't liable if they make the wrong call. At least not that I'm aware of. I mean, referees make the wrong call all the time, and I've never heard about them like being sued or successfully being sued or like going to jail or something. Like what kind of, or unless you're, what kind of repercussions are you imagining? Comfort 599, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. So I think, hey Seth, my friend made the Dark Heart deck. He's so happy you chose this deck for the video. Ooh, awesome! Yeah, that was definitely a sweet deck. I really liked it. I don't. Is that actually? I mean, I guess maybe in like very extreme cases. I mean, obviously, like cheating, bribery scandals, point shaving, things like that. Referees definitely get all of that and more. But there's some really like bad calls on a constant basis in sports, and the same guys out there reffing the next time. That is also another good point, that judges are basically judging out of the, more or less out of the goodness of their heart. I mean, I guess they get paid in boxes and stuff, but it's very close to like a service rather than an actual job. Yeah, I think blue-white control could be a thing. Bant getting in, hitting us, down to 13. Well, Charming Prince, gain 3 life. Temple Garden, pass the turn. How much burn do they have? Opponent plays on land. Goes attacking. Alright. I mean, they obviously have Embercleave. A land would actually be pretty nut. Oh, not that land. The Spark Double. To the bottom. Spark Double to the bottom. Ugh, we're in a pretty bad spot here. Pass the turn. In a potentially just dead to Embercleave, of course, spot. As far as Wizards reimbursing for bannings, so they do it on Arena. I think the issue is, okay. Huh. There's Embercleave. I don't think this gets us to winning, though. We still go to 8. They still have an Embercleave. Now we draw the untapped land. Yeah, alright. Well, let's bring in some sideboard cards. And also play first. Are we going to play Yarok before it rotates? Maybe. Do you want to see more Yarok? I mean, I'm always down for playing Yarok. I just worry that maybe you've played it so much that people don't want to see it anymore. That's my only concern. That people are just Yaroked out. Trim. And I guess we gotta go down all the Sublime Epiphanies, unfortunately. How can you not want to see Yarok? I mean, I'm always down for Yarok. We are finally playing some Paper Magic in my town, mostly standard when... what decks do you think can survive rotation? I was thinking Cycling deck. Yeah, Cycling deck should survive rotation. The Lucky Clover decks will almost certainly survive rotation. So rotation is... essentially all the sets from the last year. So we lose... well, this hand is great if we hit some lands. I guess worst case we can Charming Prince Scry if we really have to. You know what? I think we're going to Charming Prince Scry anyway. Charming Prince, Scry for lands. Alright, bottom top. Build it. Untaps. Bold Crusher Giant. Called it. Yeah, I think there's some other ones too. Peakman fan? In all honesty, I do not know what that is. So I guess I would have to say no. Alright. Well, now we got our land, so we can stop drawing lands now. Going to be cracking a box of double masters. About it. Passes. Well, let's... Fabled Passage. Crack Fabled Passage. Get an island. Eat a Charming Prince to gain a life. Baron the Annex. See, Baron can be very good. Hit ya for 3. Down to 17. We're the aggro now. I do not have a Switcher or Wii U. Opponent, Torbrand. Well, kill you. Untap. Play a land. Well, he scored Spitter. Pass the turn. Bone Crusher. Scourge Spitter. Okay, we can deal with this. Opponent. No attacks. Ambush you. Untap. Land. Ugh. Play a land. Untapped. Toll some myrrh. Fight your Scourge Spitter. Gain some life. Go to combat. Attack you. Ugh. Are we still going to just get Embercleave to death? Oh, it's such a ridiculous amount of damage. Vendilion! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that was actually a bit of a mistake with the fighting. I actually was not thinking at all that Night Pack was pumping it. Opponent has Tin Street Dodger. Goes to combat. So here comes the cleave. We will block and block. So let's think about this. This will be 4. This will be 7, 14. Oh. Wow, we just die, don't we? Embercleave is just lethal? That's just always lethal? Well, is this lethal? It's really close. Oh! Lethal for our opponent? Oh! We survived! Hey, what's up, Smash? Good to see ya. We punted our way to victory. Oh, the ooze came through. The ooze was very good. Yeah, we probably should have just countered, I guess. That would have been the smart play. That's asking a lot, though, to actually do Torbrand math. just cross your fingers and put your blockers somewhere. Oh. So what's the sweetest deck that y'all have played in Standard since we've had the bad eggs? Or even seen played? Like, what is the cool stuff you've seen going on? Ooh. Alright, this is not a fast hand, but Tristani and Nightpack Ambusher are both decent. Nightpack Ambusher is really good with Arkbow. Well, here comes the 1-drops. Opponent hits us. Ugh, more Arkbows. Anything that we can play early in the game would be helpful. Opponent hits us. And light up the stage. Looking for lands, hitting lands in a Robber of the Rich. Well, Vivian's Arkbow. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Land, Robber. It's steals a card. Yeah, Shrines is sweet. Has Shrines actually? Ooh, steals our Tulsimer. Has Shrines actually been able to compete at all, or just is like a janky fun deck? Boy, not thrilled with the amount of shocking we've had to do to ourselves. We really need to hit a 3 or less thing in our top 3. That is potentially going to decide this game. Opponent steals. Exactly what we wanted. Wow. That is unfortunate. We Arkbow. We discard an Arkbow. Yeah, that is exactly what we needed. Wow, that's unfortunate. Alright, yeah. Well, now I think we're dead. Yeah, I think we can win this matchup if we're on the play, but... Hey, opponent gets our Baron, bounces her thing. Wow! Yeah, Robert, I mean, the Hearthstonification of Magic. That is one of the many themes of the last couple of years. Yeah, I mean, this is just game, so we'll just do this. We'll discard a land. We will get a Scavenging Ooze, and we will scoop it up. No, mostly just a joke because Hearthstone doesn't have mana, so because games need variance to be fun, Hearthstone just makes a ton of cards that have random effects. That's how there is variance in Hearthstone. So they have just like, hey, deal a random amount of damage. When this comes into play, cast a random amount of spells with random targets. Just like absurd stuff like that. Wizards has went a lot more that direction recently with like Muxus's, Robber of the Rich is kind of another example. Robber of the Rich might not be the best example. A lower tier example, but I feel like Wizards is going way more and more that direction, which I actually think is not healthy. But I guess they're also combining it with trying to remove... I mean, they're trying to turn to Hearthstone. They're removing variance from the mana base while adding variance to the game, which I assume is just an attempt from Wizards to get Hearthstone players to play Arena. The thing that I don't think Wizards realizes is a lot of people play Magic because it's not Hearthstone and it's better than Hearthstone. And I think that is the appeal to Hearthstone players. I think the appeal to Hearthstone players, like how you sell Hearthstone players on Magic, is not, hey, we're like another version of your favorite game. I don't think that's all that appealing. I think how you sell Hearthstone players is, hey, we're better than your game. Like, your game is like the little kid version of our game. We've been doing this for 25 years. If you want to play a game that actually has a lot of strategy to it and is known as one of the best games of all time, that you'll still be able to pick up easily because it is, in the same genre as your game. Like, I think that's how you win over Hearthstone players. Not by like, hey, let's make Magic more like Hearthstone. Because, I mean, even for me, like, if I want to play something that's like Hearthstone, I'll just play Hearthstone. Like, there are upsides to Hearthstone. Like, it is swingy and fun and fast and like random crazy things happen. But if I want that experience, I'll probably just play Hearthstone and not play Magic. Esports. Yes, Magic esports. With our dozens of people watching our pro tours for hundreds of dollars. EVP, doing well. How are you tonight? I mean, that was a little harsh. I love watching Magic tournaments, but I don't know. I think that Magic's problem is, from the esports perspective, is it's just not really designed to be an esport. Like, the things that make esports good are the opposite of the things that make Magic good. Well, Blanket Charming Prince. Gain some life. Pass the turn. So opponent getting close to Uro. I mean, we're getting close to Sublime Epiphanies, which is sweet. Opponent combat. Hits us. We will take it. No, I think so. The Robber of the Rich thing might be going a little too far. Like, it is a random swingy effect, and I think it was partly frustration because the order of our library kind of stuck it to us there a little bit. But I think cards like Muxus are a pretty clear example where it's like, hey, when you cast this, it's going to do something between immediately win the game and literally nothing. Which I think, to me, well, here they go. To me, that feels very much like a Hearthstone card, where you just have these random, insanely swingy effects where it ranges from 0 to literally win the game on the spot for a certain amount of mana. I saw a YouTube video where the other day where Magic is the most complicated game ever due to the amount of rules. That is very likely true. Well, opponent's going off. Yeah, we're probably a little far behind to get back into this now. Maybe this deck is just too fair. I was thinking that Standard might be fair now, but we're still in a Standard with 8 set. Jeez, I mean, we're still in an 8 set Standard. There's still a ton of stuff going on, and maybe you still got to be ramping. Like, maybe even with Growth Spiral and Wilderness Rec down, maybe it's improved, but maybe it hasn't really changed, and you still got to be doing the ramp thing to be competitive, or being super aggressive. Well, pass the turn, do some blinking. We'll see. Small sample size. We're only a few matches in. Well, we will, I guess, gain some life. I don't feel like these Sublime Epiphanies are going to be enough with where we're at, but we'll see. Especially with Urogeddon coming. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. 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 Yeah, I guess we take 1,000,000. The Booty Snacks! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent plays another land. Plays a Leafkin Druid. Draws a card with the Risen Reef. Jeez. Alright, sure. Well, that was fun. I feel like we are having a problem where we're a small mid-range deck. Bigger mid-range decks and ramp decks go over the top pretty easily. Yeah, this deck might just not go big enough for our current Standard format. I mean, Standard, even with the bannings, it still is 8 sets. It's still got a lot of busted cards. Booty Snacks, handing out a bunch of gift subs to Tabs, Nicole Barish, Cardis, Crusto, and Shadow Walker. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it might just be that a little bit on the fair side still, unfortunately. Maybe you still got to be doing trying to do something busted rather than something cute and synergistic. But still, we're only a few matches in. But I mean, there's still, what we've seen so far is Uro, and more Uro. Thank you so much for all the gift subs, Booty Snacks. Hey, what's up, Bizet? How are you? Yeah, you too. Thank you. I try to avoid playing cards like Uro. I feel like we all know that Uro's good, and if you want to see people play Uro, there's probably like 100 streams that you can tune into and watch people cast Uros. So for me personally, I like trying to do something different. For the most part. Hey, what's up, Psycho Badge? How are you? I mean, that was a person's name, and they donated and gave us a bunch of gift subs. I wasn't just saying it for no reason. I don't know how many of you were here when Dixie came around. I haven't seen Dixie in a while. I think that was maybe the all-time Twitch name. Oh, well, yeah. Please. Going X3 is not really what we want to do. My goodness. Oh, no. No, God, no. Well, sure. But opponent is up to the broken part of the game, unfortunately. Pass the turn. I work for the streak leader for the 13th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Chandra. Sure. All right, one more, and then we'll switch to Mono Blue Devotion. But it's starting to look like Standard is still very powerful, and this deck is just too cute and fun to compete in a world of endless Uros. I can't say Dixie's name because that is where it all came from. I mean, Standard, I will say we played 4 different decks. We played Mono Red, we played Sultai, we played Teamer, which were both like Earl ramp decks, but still, Sultai and Teamer, and Dimir Control. So we have played 4 different decks, which is a massive improvement. Like, before you would play 1 different deck, 2 different decks. So I think the Standard is massively improved. It is still very powerful, that's for sure. Which, and our deck, I think, maybe just doesn't have the raw power level to keep up with in the world of really powerful cards. Funny thing that rough elemental deck laying around for getting challenged would be slightly changed in a meta deck. Yeah, I mean, elementals have been good at points. I guess we'll keep Deputy. Pass the turn. So my Commander game last night, I group hugged. Alright. So it looks like ramp again. Pass the turn. Probably some sort of mutate pile, I would assume. My Commander game last night, I group hugged. Yeah, definitely a mutate pile. I group hugged ramp till I drew my Perforos and cast Prosperity for 13. Ooh, that sounds like a blast dog. Ugh. Unfortunately, it's on this. Yeah, this hexproof mutate pile is going to be an issue, I think. Well, we will play a Baron and bounce our own Flibblethip to draw cards. Mutate, sweet. Well, we get to draw a bunch of cards. Opponent also gets to start drawing cards. So I think we got to get to the Sublime Epiphany to bounce this while it's tapped out. We will discard a... And discard Tristani. Pass the turn. I feel like Mutate is the worst version of Auras. I mean, it's definitely spicy. Opponent. Well, here they go. Wow. Did not mutate it. Interesting. Well, Deputy of Detention, Hey, let's get the hexproof stuff. Temple of Mystery. Land to the bottom. Well, opponent tapped their hexproof pile, and now we can get rid of the Sterix, and then I think we're good. Hugin played an Explorer Veto deck that I thought you'd enjoy. Maybe Splash Brew for Yarok and Historic, or is it too fair? Ooh, what was the deck? I wonder... Oh, probably like a Bolas' Citadel Explorer style deck? That sounds fun. Well, get rid of that. Fabled Passage. Crack Fabled Passage. Grab a... And let's just plains and... we'll run out Flibble Flip. I was going to leave up Niambi, but this is fine. Run out Flibble Flip, draw a card. I wonder if Mutate will ever be good in Standard. That would be sweet. Leto is our opponent's name. Busy Ed! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We've drawn 2 a couple times. We don't have a Arkbow right now, but it does occasionally happen with Arkbow. No, there's Arkbow. Well, unfortunately, we need to wait. Since we have Sublime Epiphany, opponent, land, and... You gonna try to draw a card? Sure. Is this just hardcast, or is it mutated? Great Horn. Alright. 5? Full 5? Oh, maximum! So... We will bounce... Flibblethip, counter, copy, deputy, draw a card, counter your trigger, counter your spell, all of them, all of them! Why not bounce Flibblethip? Opponent. Scoops it up. Oh, the 5-for-1 is so good. The 5-for-1 is the best. It doesn't happen that much, but when it does, it's so sweet. Our Flibblethip went to our hand. So I could see it there. Yeah, you're right. That was probably not the smartest move. So we'll bring in the Ether Guzz. We'll go down a Night Pack Ambusher, go down a Tolsimer, and maybe one Flibs. Actually, you know what? I don't think Scavenging Ooze does much. Let's keep the Flibs to try to draw cards. Run it like that. Remember the cycling list that you made for Pioneer? If Amonkhet Remasters makes that legal, viable, and historic, will we see some gameplay with it? Ooh, like New Perspective style cycling? Probably. New Perspective is definitely a fun deck. It might have a chance in historic, actually. Like, it's pretty good at pulling off its combo. And it's pretty consistent. We'll see if it's fast enough for historic, but it seems like there's a chance. How often does opponent plays a baby Godzilla? Yeah, let's just land go. How often does the metagame page update? So new decks are added every day. Ooh, another baby Godzilla. But I think that... Huh. Okay. Opponent loots, opponent gets a land. Hand raise Forerunners. This is some old school mutate action. But the decks will... Got him. But the decks will naturally fall off the metagame page as more lists are added, I think is how it works. But I know new lists are added on a daily basis. There's just so many of the teamer decks. Play a land. Play Baron. Bounce ya. Have you played Azorius Blink? Looks a lot of fun. Can I link it? Yeah, you could always like any safe magic related stuff are. Yeah, mutate is a really weird mechanic. Any safe magic stuff is good for linking. Well, let's toss that. I've played Blue White Blank and like Esper Blank, but I don't think I've played Corey's build in specific. Blink Baron. Keep the bounce going. Baron is pretty sweet. Baron's gonna be really good against his mutate stuff. Like, what's our opponent gonna do? Just like, yeah, okay, sure, can be countered. That is acceptable. Paradise Druid, also sure. Opponent passes. Well, Flibblethip, draw a card. Land tapped. Arkbow. Pass the turn. Like Flibblethip, draw a card. This is where we want to be. Pass the turn. Just watch your Much Improved Battle of Wits from a year or two ago. Did you ever do a Battle of Wits stream? I want to say yes, but we've done so many streams, I'm actually not 100% sure. I want to say that we did, but there is a chance that I'm wrong. Opponent gets in. Yeah, we'll take it. Sure. Mono Blue Dredge. Ooh, have we, what does Mono Blue Dredge look like? We've played some, like, Drowned Secrets Dredge. So we've played that deck. We haven't played it since the bannings, obviously. But we have played that deck a few times in the past. It's definitely a really sweet deck. Well, bounce it. Bounce it, bounce it. Maybe we'll have to do another Battle of Wits stream. Ooh, let me see, Clyer. Yumori, sure. Cycling Gift. Oh, the God Pharaoh's Gift cycling deck. Yeah, I definitely want to play God Pharaoh's Gift in Historic. Like, I'm definitely excited for that. So, yes. I think that there's a good chance, assuming God Pharaoh's Gift is in, which it seems like it should be. I'd be surprised if that was not included. Night Peg Ambusher. Block. An opponent scoops it up. All right. I mean, that felt much better. That felt pretty good. I mean, so we can beat people. I have to find it tomorrow to listen to Seth's best narration for streams and games. I don't need to actively watch the video to know what's going on. The upside of constantly talking. Yeah, I think Drowned Secrets Dredge is definitely sweet. Do you think anyone on Commander Clash will play a Mutate Infect deck? Also, my Twitch name is Captain Buckles. Captain Buckles, thank you for the cheer. Mutate Infect. So, Mutate, yes. Infect, yes. Together? I mean, Krim will definitely play Infecting at some point. Smaz! Do you ever play Teamer Clover? I feel like the deck's good again. Yeah, we played Teamer Clover a few times. I think Teamer Clover, when we were first playing it, like last fall, I think it's one of the most fun decks you can play. Like, you just always have a handful of cards, which I guess is the number one determining factor. But yeah, it's actually like one of the most fun standard decks you can play, and I think it is good again. Christopher, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. All right, Clover is really sweet. Do you want to see Clover at some point? I think probably not tonight because we're gonna try Mono Blue Devotion next. But would you want to see that again? So here's a question for you. I know like some people when they stream, some people like tend to play mostly the same deck over and over and over for like a week or two as they tune it. I've always tended to go the other way, where I try not to play the same deck like over and over or even more than once most of the time. But what do you feel about seeing decks more than once? Kira Ashmore, 41 months, still supporting. That is amazing. How are you fighting the post-format shakeups? Are they worth getting into? Well, thank you so much, Kira, for the subscription. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Pioneers felt awesome. I feel like Pioneer is in a really good place right now. Standard, it's definitely much improved. There's still some really busted cards. Still, rotation will be a nice shakeup. But Standard is still way better than it was before. I feel like I'm pretty confident that Pioneer is fixed long term. I mean, as long term as anything can be in the Magic world, but I'm pretty confident that Pioneer is like in a good and healthy spot. Standard, I think it's in a fresh spot because a bunch of stuff got banned and it's new. Whether or not that means like we're in a long term healthy spot, who knows? But for right now, it's fun again, which is the most important thing by far. All right, deck number 2. Actually, before we get to that, a super duper quick reminder that our awesome sponsor tonight is Card Kingdom, and maybe you need some double masters packs or singles, probably a better idea, or anything else. You can get them at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free Scope Soldier sticker. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. The Metal Myco, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big cheer for you. Thank you. So this deck, I know there's actually 25 lands in this deck, but Arena does not like these M21 lands. It does not like showing the number of them. David Innistrue, welcome to the Fishbowl. Hey, what's up, Blake? I'm doing well. Thank you for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. So this deck is another deck I'm really hyped to try. You might remember our first Against the Odds deck after Theros Beyond Death came out was a mono blue kind of combo devotion shell powered up by Nyx Lotus to just tap add mana equal to our devotion of a color. So we had a bunch of blue mana symbols. Thassa's Oracles, we got Barons now, we got Gadwicks. So the idea of this deck is essentially, we're going to play Nyx Lotus. It's going to make a ton of mana. We are going to use stuff like Cavalier of Gales, Sublime Epiphany, Gadwick to draw a ton of cards. As we draw those cards, we can find Corridor Monitors to untap our Nyx Lotus, and in theory, we can win like a relatively fair deck where we just like play stuff and build a board, but we can also get these combo turns essentially where we more or less go through our deck, tapping and untapping, and are able to draw our entire deck and then win with Thassa's Oracle. So that's the main plan. Sideboard, a bunch of counters. This is where we actually do have a couple of Ashiok's for Graveyard Hate, Ashiok's Erasure. I was going back and forth on... Yeah, Leyline is really cute in this deck. That's something we didn't play in the original, but I think Autumn was playing the Leylines, and it does seem really fun. Like, it's free devotion, and being able to flash stuff in does add some value. And again, this is a kind of card that with Teferi gone, it's in the conversation again. Yes, you still like Assassin's Trophy it or Knight of Autumn it, but before, like, every deck, or so many decks, not every deck, but many decks just had Teferi to bounce it, so it was horrible. You couldn't even play it. Same with Nyx Lotus. Now that Teferi's gone, these cards are suddenly, like, back in the conversation again. Yeah, I was on the fence about Kiora. The only thing I don't like is we don't have many creatures that are big enough to trigger it. We have another new donation from Just Peter 7, $10 donation. So I buy my first paper MTG products tomorrow with a box of 2XM, hoping to start on the road of non-standard Magic based on what I get. Let's hope for Trodlands. Ooh, well, odds are good that you will get all the Trodlands you need, Justiper. You will have to report back on Monday. Thank you so much for the donation. I will be rooting for you to get some insane opens and a ton of value and a ton of stuff for Modern. Report back on Monday or Tuesday, whatever stream you're at next, because I want to know how you did with your openings. I'll be hoping for some good stuff. So, I mean, that's basically the plan of the deck. We can add a Kiora. I was going back and forth. The thing I don't like is we don't have many creatures that are big enough to draw a card off of it, but having another untapper is relevant. The question is, what do we cut? I guess we could go down Thassa. 2 Thassas is probably fine. Yeah, all right, let's try it. We'd always change it up. Tutelage is coming. It is definitely coming. Tutelage will be coming on the YouTube shortly. So I can't play Tutelage yet, but I'm actually, I'm so hyped for Tutelage. I think it might be the time for Tutelage to actually do things. I think I talked about it before. When I first tried building Tutelage, I built like 3 different builds, 4 different builds. There was some high number of different builds, but a lot of different builds, and I could not win a game with it. This was back pre-banning in the Teamer Rec blah 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 meta. But now I'm hopeful that it might be time. It might be right time. And the thing I love so much about cards like Sphinx's Tutelage and Teferi's Tutelage is all you gotta do is draw cards. That's all you gotta do. All you do is draw cards and you win the game. It's like the perfect, it's just like my dream scenario. Because that's all I want to do anyway, is just draw cards. Yeah, it sounds pretty good as long as we hit our lands. Looks like our opponent might be playing mono black devotion. Opponent. Surprise? Being able to flash everything in is pretty cute. Wow. All right, we did find a land, just barely. We will block. Oh, Serrated Scorpion. So opponent's playing a sack deck? Oh boy. If we hit a land and can play this Nyx Lotus, we get to start going off next turn. We probably can't win the game. Oh, I guess we should have flashed it in. Oh! We definitely should have flashed it in. We were just talking about Leyline. Opponent, Rankle. All out attack. Alright. Hits us. Yeah, we definitely should have flashed it in. Well, we do hit a land. We lose our Rankle. Well, play the island. Nyx Lotus. Untap Nyx Lotus.
One drop ripples and
Ugh.
grows.
Ugh. Pass the turn. Next turn will be our big turn. Next turn should be our big turn. Potent. We can bounce the Rankle. Goes to combat. We will bounce Rankle. Blue? Oh. Just in case our opponent didn't know what color we were naming. Alright, next turn's going to be sweet. Buckle up for shenanigans. Potent. Spawn a Mayhem, that is acceptable. Alright, here we go. Arcanus Owl. Whiffs, which is not surprising. Arcanus Owl. Devotion, increasing, get a Nyx Lotus. Kiora, untap Nyx Lotus, play a land. Gadwick, so we need 2 mana left. So we can Gadwick for, yes, go away, 14. We can Gadwick for 9. We can Gadwick for 10. Gadwick for 10. Yeah, Gadwick for 10. Looking for a corridor monitor to keep it going. Aw. Aw. No corridor monitor. Well, alright. Thassa's Oracle, tap spawn. Boo! I thought we were going to win the game! Wow, where's all of our corridor monitors? Alright. Well, corridor monitor on top. Discard. Discard, discard. Next turn, odds of winning the game keeps increasing. Yeah, our owls didn't hit it. Our draw 10 didn't hit it. They're just all chilling at the bottom of our library. Well, we can't flash when we had all of our mana floating, and we can't flash and use Kiora's untapping. So while there are times for flashing, when we're trying to combo, we pretty much have to do it main phase because of our untap effects like Kiora. Well, we definitely have to do it main phase if we have Kiora going. Resolute Rider, sure. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, so Cavalier of Gales. Tap you. Oh, we're going to win for sure. We're going to win for sure. Here we go. That actually draws us a card with Kiora. We also get to Braidstorm. Another Corridor Monitor. We will put back a Nyx Lotus and a Thassa. Sure. Tap for 19. Untap.
The ocean surges like
Arcanus Owl. Tap you down. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Take a ley line. We will play the ley line. Tap you down. Brazen Borrower. Keep tapping you down. Our devotion is growing. Float some mana. Corridor Monitor. Tap you down. Untap. Sublime Epiphany. Bounce, copy, draw. Oh no, wait. Float the mana. Sublime Epiphany. Bounce, copy, draw. Bounce you, copy you, draw a card. 61 mana floating. Yes. Untap it with a copy. Oh, Sublime Epiphany. I don't even think we need Kiora with Sublime Epiphany. Play the land. Play. All right, float the mana. Sublime Epiphany. How much mana can we get? Bounce, copy, draw. Bounce you. Copy you. Draw a card. 84 mana floating. Untap Nyx Lotus. Baron. Tap you. Pick up Corridor Monitor. Flow some mana. Corridor Monitor. Tap you. Oh, this is beautiful. Float the mana. We have 30 cards in our library, so we will Gadwick for 29 with 133 mana floating. Whoo! An opponent scoops it up. That was beautiful. I mean, that's what makes this deck so fun. Do you really need to Gadwick? I mean, do we really need to do anything? 100 years from now, we'll all be dead and forgotten. So do we really need to do anything? But, I mean, right now we're alive, and we're going to Gadwick. Well, oh, I will update the deck list, yeah. Oh, it's so sweet. It is so sweet. I should update the stream title too. I guess it's already in there. All right. Do we want to change anything? Opponent is playing mono black, a nice fair deck. I don't think we change anything. They probably have discard now, but that's fine. Yeah, Spectral Sailor could be worth considering. It does draw a lot of cards. Ooh, we get Leyline again? All right. I kind of just want more Sublime Epiphanies. Sublime Epiphany's so sweet. Yeah. Well, Leyline on turn 1 is not the best. Pote it. Passes. Well, Castle Vantress, go. Give us lands. All we need is lands. Oh, Sublime Epiphany is way sweeter than it looks. Actually, I guess it looks pretty sweet. Alright, opponent going to attack our hand. You play with 2 Spectral Sailors, 0 Epiphanies. I can see that. I really like Sublime Epiphany, but I very well could be wrong. Well, land go. All we need is lands. Your devotion is almost high enough for Thassa's Oracle's ETB to win the game. Yeah, that is true. We were pretty close to being able to just straight up win with it. Well, let's flash in a Baron. Bounce Rankle. Ooh, and we hit the land. Play the land. Go to combat. Hit ya. Huh. Yeah, I guess we main phase it and untap Baron. Oh no. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. Pass the turn. Opponent plays on land. Duresses, take Sublime Epiphany. Spawn of Mayhem. Well, go to combat. Get in with Thassa's Oracle. Hit ya. Pass the turn. Blink Baron. Locked him. I think we locked him. Pick it up, pick it up. Sorry, opponent. Oh. Opponent rankles. Sure. Scoops it up. Dominating performance. That was really sweet. I mean, that's probably a good matchup for us, but wow. I forgot what spectacular things this deck could do. I mean, I think this by itself is a sign of how much Standard has improved. I know I was still like talking about Uro and how busted Uro is, which is true, but the fact that you can like play Nyx Lotus decks now, like Standard is way better than it was a week ago. I don't have any doubt about that. Like it definitely is. I think blue is one of the better colors for taking advantage of the mana from Nyx Lotus. Like red doesn't have really anything to do with the mana, is its problem. I guess that's fine. We got Vantress to Scry. Red doesn't really have anything to do with the mana. Black is kind of the same way. It'll be interesting, like, if we had something like Torment of Hailfire or Banefire, if we had something like that going on, then I think the other colors might be in the conversation. But blue, like, because of being able to draw so many cards, I think that puts blue ahead for Nyx Lotus strategies. Ooh, are we getting Winota? Hey. Alright. I don't know how this goes. Venerated Loxodon. Yeah, it's a board. More lands. The downside is our deck doesn't really have much removal. Our removal is incredibly slow. Wow, do they have Winota too? No! Let me see, Stitch. Judith. Well, it's not Winota. Opponent goes to combat. So much damage. So much damage. Down to 12. Oh! Well, alright. Sure. We kept a land-heavy hand, and we've continued to just draw lands. Would Finale be worth it? I think it's kind of borderline. Well, alright, sure. That was a good Marty Winota hand. It doesn't add any mana symbols, which is a little bit awkward, but card draw is always good. I'm not sure what I would take out of the deck to play it. Like, when you resolve it, it does feel like it would be good. Ugh, we don't have anything super great against this. I guess we can bring in, like, Ashiok's Erasure. Even Aethergust isn't great. Yeah, Mono Blue is not really known for its ability to beat up on aggro. Q! Welcome to the Fishbowl. For the second month. I can't believe it's already been a month since you saved me either. Oh, those the anchovies still give me nightmares. So thank you. Thank you, Q, for making it a little more tolerable. Welcome back to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I don't know about Kiora. I actually don't know. In a world of Sublime Epiphany, I don't think we need Kiora. I think we'll change that after this game. Because Sublime Epiphany copying Corridor Monitor. The other thing to consider with stuff like Finale is I think the issue with the deck in general is getting run over by aggro. Like that is how things go wrong. So I feel like being able to play things to help against aggro is probably the biggest thing we can do. I wonder if it'd be worth splashing into a color. Arkbow, welcome to the Fishbowl. Good evening to you. Thank you for your subscription. Big scoops cheer for our new subscriber. What would be the best thing we could play against aggro in this deck? Well, all right. This is okay. Obviously, no real answer to aggro, or no real answer to our opponent's creatures, but Castle Vantress, Thassa's Oracle, dig for a land. All right, well, no land. That's sketchy. Land for our opponent. Ugh. Well. Yeah, that's rough. We were counting on Thassa's Oracle. Well, thankfully we did draw a land. Go to combat. Attack ya. Oh, we still need more lands, though. There's the raise the alarm. Ugh. What do you think about Winota? Where's Winota at in Standard now? Fine, broken. Trying to subscribe to the channel, but I can't buy tokens. Any other option? Ooh. I honestly didn't realize you needed tokens to subscribe. I thought, I was under the impression you could just do it, like with a, I guess I'm not 100% sure. I've never heard about needing tokens to subscribe. I thought you just did it with, like, PayPal or a credit card. Yeah, this looks familiar. I think we saw this draw before. Well, yeah, looking like we're going to just be too slow here. Missing that land drop. Bone it. To the bottom. Selfless Savior. Block, block. Down to 3. Lose our board. Do you kill the Oracle? Oh. Alright. Well, as good as our first match was, that one was bad. Tobacco Warrior! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think the problem with Winota is I feel like it's one of those cards. Like, remember when they banned Birthing Pod? One of their justification was we can't print good things because they're going to be broken with Birthing Pod. I kind of feel like Winota's that with humans. Like, you definitely can't print Agent of Treacheries, or maybe even, like, any humans that are decent and cost, like, that are decent, I guess. Because Winota definitely amps up their power. We have a new donation. Ugh. Ugh, still having trouble. Oh, we forgot to take out this Kiora. Well, alright. We got some lands this time, sort of. New donation from The Voice Gaming. $5 donation. Hey, Seth. I'm 1 win away from Mythic, starting in Bronze with 16 hours of gameplay playing Teamer Tempo. I am so anxious to get that final win. Any advice to help me beat your strategy, to beat my anxiety? Well, The Voice of Gaming, thank you so much for the donation. I mean, I think the most important thing, I think it's important to remember, you know, when it comes down to it, you're playing because you enjoy playing Magic. So even if you end up losing, you'll have another shot at making Mythic. So just try to have as much fun as you can playing that last game because you love playing Magic and it's something that you enjoy doing. So I think that would be my main advice. And I think you play better when you're having fun as well. Opponent, Mills. Well, it's fine. We didn't really... Oh, opponent's playing Rogues. Huh. Well, Bounce Vantress Gargoyle. Grixis Rogues. Well, that is spicy for sure. Yeah, drawing Leyline on turn 1 is very sad. Oh, I really hope we draw lands. We really just need to keep hitting land drops here. Opponent. Wait, what Blink deck were we talking about? There was a comment about Blink decks. These are the special ones from Core Set 2021. Well, alright. Nyx Lotus. Not doing anything at the moment, but... Uh-oh. Were they like playing main deck Negate or something? Alright. What do you got about it? What do you got? Oh, Brazen Borrower. Alright, Boo and Hiss. Opponent plays a land. Kroxa. We will discard Sublime Epiphany. That's not a rogue. I think that's cheating. It is very much a Crim deck. About it. Thinking. Opponent is down to 2 cards in hand. Purple Polar Panza is our opponent's name. Well, Nyx Lotus. Opponent mills. Runs out Brazen Borrower. Well, next turn we get to start doing things. Hopefully. Opponent. We don't have much card. We don't have any card draw though. Terror of the Peaks. All right. And a land. Well, okay, here we go. Come on, card draw, Gadwick, something. Opponent gets it, hits us. South North, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Opponent hits us, perhaps. That is 17. Ugh. Well, all right. Arcanist. Gets an Arcanist Owl. Float mana. Corridor Monitor. Untap Nyx Lotus. Arcanist Owl. Gets Thassa. Corridor Monitor. Untap Nyx Lotus. We have 11 mana? Well. Leyline. Thassa. Brazen Borrower. And pass the turn. I mean, no card draw to just win the game, but that was still a pretty good turn. And then we can Corridor Monitor, untap Nyx Lotus to tap our opponent's team with Thassa. Like, that actually still might just be enough. Even when it's not busted, it's still good. Yeah, Richard started Goldfish. I came in not super long after it started, but yeah, Richard started it. In the beginning, Goldfish was just a pricing site. There was no content or anything. It was just kind of like the price list that we have now. Basically just that. I'll tap you. Tap you. Brazen Borrower. Untap. Land. Tap you. Wow! Wow, 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 wow. That was about the card draw. No card draw. Nothing insane. I do wish we had a little more card draw. Maybe a finale is worth it. Or like Omen of the Sea, Witching Well, something like that. Have you ever done an interview talking about your history, like Humans of Magic? I don't know if you ever actually have. Like, there's been bits and pieces of Goldfish history, like, on the Goldfish podcast and stuff, but there was never... I don't think there's ever been, like, an entire episode dedicated to it, or Humans of Magic or anything like that. That could be kind of fun. We'll have to do, like, an AMA could be fun, too. Get Richard on stream and do an AMA. Teferi looting could be a reasonable option too. Do we even want to change anything? I feel like our sideboard is, well, Ether Gust probably fine. We'll go down the Kiora. We might make a couple changes to the deck after this game. Go down the Kiora. Go down a Leyline. Go up to Ether Gust. Run it like that. Spectral Sailor? Spectral Sailor could be worth considering. It does die. We'll look. We'll look after this game and see what options exist. Ooh, Midnight Clock. How are things in New York? Reasonable, I think. All things considered for this crazy time. When's the next Goat Magic? I do not know. There's not one. I know there's not one this week. There's not an episode that we already have recorded or anything. I'm actually not sure what the next episode will be. There definitely will be more Goat Magic. That I am confident in. But exactly what the next episode will be and when it'll be. I still want to do... What do you think of... I kind of want to do, like, no ban standard. I'm curious. I don't even know. Maybe it wouldn't be as interesting as I think. But I kind of want to do, like, standard... I kind of want to do no banless standard and just see what happens. Like, if you could play full-on... Well, I guess it's Thassa for now, awkwardly. Opponent hits us, down to 19. Castle Ventress, go. Because I feel like no banless standard, the deck would be busted. Yeah, maybe Midnight Clock is worth considering. Maybe that's the way to go. Yeah, I mean, no banless Simic, I bet that could be some modern decks. Not just Jun, but like... but like real modern decks. Opponent passes. Well, let's Thassa's Oracle. Get a Thassa's Oracle. Land. Attack, yeah. We're getting close. We get to land into Nyx Lotus, and then we are more or less off to the races. When are they supposed to announce the next set after Zendikar? It could be any time. I feel like often we already know what that set is. Yeah, I guess Castle Ventress is fine. I feel like often it's already been announced, but things have changed since they moved away from doing blocks to just doing single sets. So, well, I know, yeah, we know Commander Legends is coming. We don't know what the winter standard set is yet. Nader Kraken could be sweet. Well, all right, there's Nyx Lotus. Do we win the game this turn is the question. Opponent. I think our opponent wants the lands. Yeah, opponent takes the lands. About it. Win on our opponent's turn just to flex? We could. Oh my goodness. Well, since we do Sublime Epiphany, I think we definitely wait till our opponent's turn to do anything. Pass the turn. So we probably don't win this turn. But we're going to be set up to win next turn. Yeah, Grixis Rose looks interesting. Sadly, a little... There's not enough rogues to be fully rogue tribal, but... Alright. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, sure. It's kind of funny how hard of a time people have playing around Leyline. Like, once everything has flash, you could see our opponent having to think through every single attack. Like, do I actually do this? Is it actually worth it? Like, how am I going to get blown out? Well, let's draw 7 magic cards. That seems good. Also, add a Black Lotus, essentially, to the battlefield. Untap. I'll play a land. Cavalier. Tap you. Draw some cards. Bounce, bounce. Nyx, oh boy. Nyx Lotus. So tap this. Arcanus Owl. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to combo off and win. Arcanus Owl. Get rid of stuff with, sure. Arcanus Owl. Tap you. Get rid of stuff. Get a Corridor Monitor. Corridor Monitor. Untap Nyx Lotus. Oh, we're going. We're going all the way. Mana. Cavalier. Tap you. Put back 2 lands. Arcanus Owl. When this deck goes, it goes so far. Whiff, that's fine. Brazen Borrower. Up Our Devotion. Sublime Epiphany. Bounce. Copy. Draw. Pick up Gadwick. Copy Corridor Monitor. Draw a card. Tap you. See, Sublime Epiphany is actually really sweet in this deck. Pick it up. Devotion at 28. Untap. Tap. Ley Line of Anticipation. Up Our Devotion. Gadwick. X 20. Neo Yasu! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then we will play a Thassa's Oracle. I don't even think we need to do anything else. Thassa's Oracle. Our devotion is 35. Sure. Put a card on top. And that is the game. The devotion gets so ridiculous. We don't even need, like, we're getting to the point where Thassa's Oracle is going to be able to win with half of our deck still there. We could have Gadwig for more, too. We could definitely Gadwig for, like, 100 in this deck pretty easily. I think so far we've only played 3 matches, and we've had, what, 130 mana floating? It's so sweet. It's so sweet. The deck is nuts. Like, yes, we get run over by aggro on occasion, but boy, wow, does it do sweet things. I forgot how sweet, now that Teferi's gone, I forgot how sweet Nyx Lotus is. We are 2-1. Maybe we just gotta try, all right, so we want to change something in the deck. What were we looking for? So we wanted to go down the Kiora. So the other thing about Kiora is now that we're on the Flash plan, it doesn't really work with the Flash plan. We might have to just build a Nyx Lotus deck of every color, because Nyx Lotus can do sweet things. What would be the other best color for Nyx Lotus? You could definitely splash. And like just play white mana for sweepers, red mana for sweepers. That might be worth it. Beanie upkeep, put a counter on. I guess we could dump the mana into it to make it happen pretty quickly. That's so much mana. 36 mana to make it go instantly. La Legion Gaming green. Spark Double doesn't really draw us cards though. Silent Submersible. It is 2 blue mana symbols. What else? So, permanence, ooh, 8 misses? Probably not, ooh. Oh, it only taps a creature. I was gonna say, this would be insane. Like, this would go so infinite. Wait, is there a creature that taps to untap a permanent? No. Aww. Oh, that would have been sweet. Yeah, we're buying standard right now. Explosion needs so much red though. I guess like Witching Well's fine. Witching Well scries in the early game, draws in the late game. That seems reasonable. Yeah, I don't know, and there's no. Is there any good mass bounce? Flood of Tears. Like, how do we slow down aggro? Yeah, Native Kraken could be a good win condition. I don't know if we really need it. So, like, I feel like once the deck gets going, winning is pretty easy. The challenge is making sure that we live long enough to get going. And let's try it like this again. See if we play aggro again. If we run into aggro again and get crushed, then maybe we splash into white. That might be the way to go. Yeah, sleep would be perfect. Historic could be interesting. Now that Teferi's gone there too. Yeah, Master Waves would be interesting if it was in Standard. It might just be an issue of splashing into a second color. So what would be the next color? Let's say one of our goals is going to be, maybe one of our goals for the summer, while we're waiting for rotation, to build every color of Nyx's Lotus deck. So every color Devotion. Blue, what is next best? Green is the most popular vote. Black could be interesting. White, I guess you can activate Heliod a lot. We need more like big X spells or something. That would make a lot of that stuff very exciting. I have not seen as many Yoriels since Gross Pyro rotated. Bonnet. Well, Thassa's Oracle. No, we just need lads. Let it go. Okay, that's fine. All we're trying to do is find a land. All right, land on top. Untap. I actually have been really impressed with Leyline of Anticipation. Like, Leyline makes our opponent's choices a lot harder. Oh, Pier, that's right. We do have Pier. That actually sounds appealing. That is kind of the big payoff we were missing. Okay. What would be the worst color? Probably just white would be the least exciting. Nissa's an issue. Sadwick. Actually, I think maybe we just Arcanus Owl. Arcanus Owl. Get a Corridor Monitor. Opponent gets in. No land. Well, attack Nissa.
Stop.
Thassa. Blankia. Witching Well, pass the turn. Silver Fucks, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription for the 17th month. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Hey, Seth, I play MTGA and I don't have the option to play best of 3. Any idea why? Ooh, so you need to cycle to all play modes. Yeah, that feels like game when you're missing land drops. Nissa. Yeah. Well, all the dorks, all the dorks, and none of the mana. We have a new donation for Rum. Yeah, the Sultai deck has felt like the best deck we've seen so far. Nyx Lotus in Hydras or Nyx Lotus in Fiery Emancipation. Ooh. Those both sound really sweet. Hydras would be a fun way to play it with in green and Fire Emancipation in red. I forgot about Fire Emancipation. That is also a lot of red mana symbols. I think we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna take the Nyx Lotus challenge and try to build a devotion deck for each color. Not tonight probably, because we're getting towards the middle or end-ish of the stream. But that's a good project for the summer, I think. I like that idea. Devotion Week. The middle or endish. Well, I was going to say middle, and I realized, well, it's like, actually, 8:15. So does that mean it's more towards the end-ish? So it just all all came out in once, all mixed together. Well, we're bringing some counters, some more counters. We'll go down a Baron, a Thassa, couple of lane lines, an Owl, a Cavalier, and Brazen Borrower? That's a lot of cuds. Sharknado is a blocker for aggro and digs in mono blue. Sharknado could work. I mean, you could make big sharks with all the mana. If you want to make take the biggest shark challenge, it would probably be good for that. The other thing is, this deck is also pretty dependent on Nyx Lotus. That's the other thing. I don't know how often it wins when we do not have Nyx Lotus on the battlefield. Well, we did need a land, so that's good. I've played 4 straight games with this deck and haven't played more than 3 islands a game. Yeah, that's not what this deck wants to be doing. That makes it a lot harder. Much, much harder about it. We've had some mana troubles, too. Llanowar Visionary. Well, I guess we Ether Gust it. Untap and land. Alright, that's a land. I'll play a land. Arcana Sowl? Oh! All the lands we needed, and none of the Nyx Lotuses we needed. Aye! That is not ideal. Found it. Fabled Passage. Yeah, it was the opposite of what we wanted. Wilt. Okay. Well, we're still finding lands. That's something. I guess we can Gadwick to draw cards eventually. Yeah, so that's 5. Technically, that's 5 lands in a row that we were going to draw. If we hadn't put all those to the bottom. Yeah, Fanatic Amogus is definitely a good devotion card. Here comes Nissa, I think. Or Teferi. Well, yeah.
If I don't have a plan, I'll just make one up.
Makes a dork. Discards a land. I'll draw a couple cards. Gadwick. Into. Ugh. Alright, no lands. Strange. Pass the turn. Loots with Teferi. I mean, the nice thing is, we have a quarter monitor in hand. So it's not impossible that we can, like, Nyx Lotus and, like, try to combo in one turn. If our opponent's just going to casualties us, though, then that's probably game. Alright, well, okay. If we draw a land, we can try to do things. That's what we need. We need a land this turn. And we have some shot. Come on, land! But we put a million lands to the bottom. Ugh. Okay, well. Baron. Tab crosses. Bounce crosses. Ugh. Yeah. Not good. Not good. I built this deck and my first opening hand was all Nyx Lotuses. Yeah, that's not exactly what you're looking for. So we're hoping our opponent taps out to play the crosses, because they probably have counters, and we draw a land, and then we can try to combo. It's going to be tight, especially now that we spent our Baron. It's going to be much harder. Perhaps impossible. Because we need a Baron to pick up Gadwick. Lives with Teferi, but Teferi's ultimating this turn, so... Hey, see you, Featherall. Have a wonderful evening. See you on Monday. Well, I guess we got to counter it. Oh, this Teferi's going to ultimate, though, and then that definitely gets us. Yeah, all right. So Teferi ultimates 2 extra turns, and that does it. Ugh. All right. Well, that was some awkward running. The deck does spectacular things. Maybe we just want like 4 Witching Wells. What can we cut? Like, the problem is losing to aggro and just running awkwardly. Like, that is... I wonder if the Ley Lines of Anticipation are just not good. Like, when they're good, they're really good. But then... like, they're not really necessary. They're more cute than necessary. I wonder if the Ley Lines are just bad. I mean, the thing is, they're fun. So it's sad to cut them because they're fun. But they do kind of just feel bad. And I think we want more Barons, because Barons... Let's try it like that. Because Barons pick up... Let's go all the Witching Wells. And then Barons, because Baron, even though... Baron is good against aggro, because it bounces our opponent's stuff. But it's also a combo piece, because it can pick up our own Gadwick, so we can draw more cards. Nehru Miha. I don't think Nehru Miha's in Standard anymore. Yeah, I feel like Leyline is definitely fun, but I don't know if it's good. Like, it's probably worth keeping just like, I don't know, because it's fun to play with, and it puts your opponent in funny positions. But as far as like trying to win with it, I think it makes the deck worse. Hey, Nisa! What's up, Nisa? How are you? How goes the streaming life? Well, Landon Witching Well. Alright. Keep Thassa's Oracle to dig for Lotus. Yeah, Omen of the Sea seems decent too. I don't know if it's better than Witching Well or not. Maybe. It offers more immediate value. Witching Well, though, does have the upside of sacking... Okay, it's a Clover deck. Well, alright. Hit ya. This is awkward because it means our opponent's going to be able to dig... Oh, no. Well, 2 Clovers is very frightening. Oh, this is where scary things happen. Very scary things. Land for our opponent. Like, if they can tutor from their sideboard, they just get to get anything they could possibly want. I imagine that this deck has to be one of the best decks post-bannings. Think cutting a couple Oracles for some Emrys would be good. They're just going to bounce our board with Brazen Borrower. Even just that. Okay, Questing Beast. 3 tokens. Alright, well, we get to untap. Player Canis Owl. Wow, again. Yeah, pass the turn. Woo! Whifferito! Hey, what's up, Kyromaniac? The Arkbow deck, like, I think we went 2 and 3 overall. It might be a little bit... It might just not be quite powerful enough for what is going on in Standard, even post-bannings. Opponent gets in with the Beast. Sure. Down to 15. And... this could be a good Sublime Epiphany. It might be a very good Sublime Counter a spell. Bounce a Lucky Clover. Copy Arcanus Owl. Draw a card. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad Sublime Epiphany. Clover returns. Opponent passes. Oh, we have so much mana. We have the mana. We need to find a Gadwick, I think. Holy Turnip God, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. So how do we do this? We play Arcanus Owl. Get a Corridor Monitor. We play Thassa's Oracle. Actually, let's go Witching Well. Go Witching Well. We just gotta find a Gadwick. We gotta find a Gadwick. Bottom. Thassa's Oracle. We had to go 14 cards deep. There's gotta be a Gadwick. Oh, there's Gadwick. So we get Gadwick. Sack Witching Well. Actually, I guess we do this first. Corridor Monitor. Untap. Sack Witching Well. Draw 2. Ooh. Hoo. Make some mana. Arcanus Owl. Upper Devotion. Here we go. Hey, what's up, Liam? How are you? Get an Arcanus Owl. And we'll play an Arcanus Owl. Upper Devotion. Keep it going. Whiff. Corridor Monitor. Untap Nyx Lotus. Tap it. Corridor Monitor. Untap Nyx Lotus. Tap it. 42 cards in the deck. I guess we go X42. X42 sounds fine. Dogamith with a gift sub to Benimon. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. Wait. Wow. Arena's tough when you got that many cards. Thassa's Oracle? Tap ya? Woohoo! Well, nice try, Teeper Clover. How budget is this deck? I don't actually think it's that expensive, honestly. It is... well, in paper, it's $160. Thassa is $35 for 3 copies. Brazen Bar was $28. I guess Leyline. So we cut the ley lines for Witching Wells. So that would be a way to get the cost down a little bit more. I think you can get it down almost to $100 on Arena. 7 mythics, 16 rare, 26 rares. But you could, all right, looking at the deck list, budget-wise. So if you're trying to make on a budget, Castle Vantress can go. So that's 4 rares down. Leyline, I don't actually think is that good, although it's fun. So that's 4 more rares down. You got to have Nyx Lotus. You could cut the Cavaliers of Gales. I do like them, though. Gadwig's essential. Brazen Bar is really good. Baron's essential. Thassa's Oracle's essential. You could get rid of Ashiok's Erasure in the sideboard. So you can get the rares and make things down a little bit. So, cheaper than most top-tier standard decks, but not cheap. What mythics can I substitute for rares if I don't have rare wild cards? That is so strange to me. Is that actually an issue that people have? Because I'm exactly the other way. Like, I have rares for days, but I do not ever have the mythics I need. I'm the exact. Maybe it's because I spend $150 a set or whatever. Do I operate MTGOldfish.com? I am the content manager for MTGOldfish.com. Richard is the owner. So, manage, yes, for the most part. Richard has final say on things. And is the owner though. Own new. Any of the like front end stuff is kind of my domain. Like anything content-y or like public facing. Richard does all of the back end stuff, like programming stuff and all that kind of stuff is a Richard's domain. I'm surprised I was keep answering the same question without getting angry. Oh well, Advanced Wids. I grew up as the oldest of a family of 9, so I have a lifetime of practice dealing with, and this is not to say that you're annoying little siblings, but a lifetime of practice dealing with annoying little brothers and sisters asking the same question over and over and over again. So I actually, I guess it's something I've just learned from that. Yeah, let's go bottom. Catholic-ish, actually, more like, so my father was Catholic growing up, and my mother was, I don't think especially religious growing up, but when I was little, they became like hardcore evangelical for the most part. So I grew up in a very like super religious, super conservative family, but probably the big family was in part thanks to my dad's Catholic upbringing, I would assume. That's kind of a Catholic thing. Well, Thassa's Oracle. Digging for a land. Play the. I mean, we got the Nyx Lotus. I expect our opponent has a bunch more answers now. But we're not, like, super far away from doing cool things. Does your family understand what you do for a living at all? Sort of. So, like, I think they understand, but not exactly, like, the intricacies of Magic for the most part. I've taught some of my, like, younger brothers to play a little bit, although they're way more, like, basketball players-y and whatnot. So they don't play Magic too much. They're usually, like, out playing basketball somewhere. But I have taught them to play Magic. My mom, like, gets what I do, but doesn't really understand Magic. I know she like sometimes tunes into the stream, but Magic is kind of its own language. So if you don't really understand Magic, it doesn't make a ton of sense to a lot of people. That's Cavalier of Gales. Draw some cards. We have 6 mana? How do we do this? So we're going to need card draw. Wow, this is really interesting. We're going to want Sublime Epiphany too, maybe. We're not going to have the mana, are we? Put back Baron. And Thassa? Make mana. Corridor Monitor. Untap. Is my family worried about my magic spending? I don't think so. I don't think they actually really understand that part of it. Can I play b-ball? I used to play a ton of basketball. I actually taught my younger brothers. They have surpassed me in basketball now. But I actually used to be decent in basketball. But I have not played. Let's see. Bounce, copy, draw. So bounce you, copy you, draw a card. We also got to do this without timing out. So draw a card, draw some more cards, put back 2 lands. Baron. Bounce Corridor Monitor. Corridor Monitor. Untap Lotus. Witching Well. Scry the lands away. Crack a Witching Well. Ooh. Arcanus Owl. Alright, Lotus. Well, Brazen Borrower. No attacks. I mean, that was a good turn. It didn't win us the game, but that was a pretty spectacular turn. Tanos with the gift sub to Thick Croissant. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. I used to really enjoy playing basketball. I still enjoy basketball the game. Are my siblings also named after spices? No, no other spice nicknames. An opponent, Tiber, cannot keep up. And maybe this deck's good. All right, let's go one more time. All right, give it. Yeah. So growing up was interesting. I think I've probably told some of these stories before. I think I told the story about, like, I think that's why I pronounce things strangely sometimes. Like, so growing up, one of my parents' beliefs for a big part of growing up was they were very anti-television because it was a, I don't know, sacrilegious thing, not a good influence. So my parents were very anti-television. We had a TV for, like, watching movies on occasion, but we didn't really have TV. So growing up, especially when I was like elementary school through like junior high era, we didn't really have TV to watch. So I read a lot of books. I read so many books, and I love reading, but I just read a ton. Like, I would read, at one point I read like the encyclopedia, just because I love learning things and I loved reading. So I would just like read through encyclopedias. I'd read like actual like classic books and stuff. But so I think that's why I say things strangely, is because a lot of the words are words that I just said to myself reading books rather than hearing them from like TV or something like that. So I think that is why I say a lot of things in my own unique, not exactly right way. But I'm actually, like, at the time I thought it, like, I didn't like it, because, like, what kid doesn't want to watch TV? But in hindsight, I think it actually worked out. Like, I wouldn't do that now with, if I ever have children, but, not to that level at least, but I mean, I ended up loving reading, and I read a lot of books and learned a lot of random things because of it. Art, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Boy, another aggro beatdown. These are the matchups where it's a little sketchy. Well, some of those are also just kind of like a joke. Like, Bugler Rat versus Burglar Rat. That's not really a mispronunciation as much as a joke. Same with, like, Bonded Courier. I just think Bonded Courier is funny, so I say that instead of Bomat Courier. But a lot of them, I mean, Bugler Rat might not actually be a mispronunciation, but a lot of them are me just saying the words the way that I heard them or read them in my head. Well, I guess we bounce. Yeah, this feels like a tough matchup for our deck. Land Arcana Stowel. I mean, I guess it's possibly just combo. That's probably our best case. Nyx Lotus. Well, alright, Witching Well. Pass the turn, we're not dead yet, all the way. Bark-Eyed Troll number 2, Potent, attacks, pumps. Well, we will block Sir Farron. Drop to 7. And Stone Coil. Ooh, Baron's nice. Play a land. Baron a Bark-Eyed. Witching Well. Oh, we need mana. Alright. I think we keep the Baron. Ooh, yeah, we'll keep it. Keep the Baron. Hopefully we can trade this one off. Pass the turn. Stay on D. It was funny watching your parents lax with your siblings over the years. My wife is the oldest of 8. When I saw with my wife's siblings didn't match up to the story she told. Yes, that was definitely kind of my experience too. That oh, Questing Beast. I think that is Wait, does this put us to dead? We're drawing Baron. We bounce Questing Beast. This isn't good. So we go to 3. We trade with Baron. We Baron Questing Beast. But now we got a double chump? Yeah. Yeah. We can't win from here. We can't win from there. Oh, that Questing Beast is really good. Yeah, this is tough. Well, we get Ether Gust. Ether Gust is our main interactive spell. Just play Thassa? Yeah. I guess maybe that would have been better. I mean, I guess we were basically dead anyway. If our opponent could have killed one of our creatures or like rammed through a creature, then Thassa's turned off and we're dead. But I guess we were basically just dead regardless. So yeah, I think you're right. I think Thassa would have been better probably. Yeah, I guess that's a punt. I mean, I think we were just dead no matter what, but you're right. I think that was a better play. We have seen this deck struggle with aggro. That seems to be the hard matchup. Well, trim, and trim, I guess. Bring in the Ether Gust. Yeah, I think it was probably a punt. I don't know if it... I'm not sure it would have made a difference. Ugh, well, this is Thassa's time to shine. I guess Corridor Monitor can actually block some things, sort of. 2 Thassas isn't great. Stone Coil X1. More lands. Well, Corridor Monitor, go. Alright. We need card draw. We need Lotuses. Potent. Sir Farron. Alright, so we're just gonna keep drawing corridor monitors, I guess. Not great to have to run those out early, but bone it, land in. Yorville. Well, play on land, play Thassa. Unfortunately, not on yet. But we blink. Pass the turd. No questing beast. No questing beast, please. Questing beast. Opponent attacks. We take roughly infinite. Kills her Farron. Oh, that's 11? So much damage. Well, Thassa's Oracle. Get a... I guess we gotta take Ether Gust. The problem is, this is the spot where if our opponent can kill our Oracle, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if our opponent can kill our Oracle, it turns off Thassa, and then we're just like dead. The devotion part is tricky. All right, what do you got, opponent? Barkai Troll. Well, that technically doesn't kill it yet. And come on. Oh. You can see him hovering on the creatures. They got the ram through. Oy. Well, we already have Ether Gust, yeah, so that's game. Sure. We already have Ether Gust on top of our deck, so that's the card we want. Oracle's enter the battlefield trigger, but it just puts a card on top of your deck. And we already had the card on top of our deck. Alright, we'll try one more. One more on the way out the door. Last match of the stream. Well, we'll see. We'll see if Arena works. Arena might be dead. Okay. It seems like the server just needed waiting. One more time. See if we can combo off once more before the stream ends. I've heard two different approaches to sideboarding. Adding then removing, removing then adding. Which do you recommend, and does it depend on the deck or matchup? Ooh. Well, that's not good. That's Nick Slodistron. Okay. Well, that's semi-functional 6-card hand. I tend to think about the cards. Think about the cards that I want to... Oh, all right, some sort of graveyard dredge deck. I tend to think about the cards I want to bring in and then figure out what I want to take out. I don't know, actually, if I think that's necessarily, like, better than doing it the opposite direction, but that is the way that I personally tend to do it. Yeah, I mean, the deck feels relatively competitive, but it does struggle with aggro, so I think that's worth keeping in mind if you decide to pick it up. It does do ridiculously cool and fun things, though. Priest to the Forgotten Gods. Well, let's just bounce Priest. Untap. Nyx Lotus. We still need some card draw. That's the last piece of the puzzle, essentially. But we got down the Nyx Lotus. Land for our opponent. And our opponent didn't really mill themselves in anything meaningful. Yeah, mono green crushed us. We also kind of got a little bit crushed by another aggro deck. Maybe mono red? Mire Triton. Yeah, I guess in paper, shuffle your sideboard in is good advice. Doesn't really matter or apply to Arena for the most part. Oh, playing a land. Baron. Bounce Priest again. Thassa's Oracle. Well, we'll take a Baron. Kind of wanted to flash in Brazen Borrow in response to get more devotion, but hey, Mr. Fuzzy Wuzzy, how are you? Bodent. Goes attacking. Well, we'll kill a Mire Triton. Run out Brazen Borrower. Yeah, I mean, Spectral Sailor could be okay. I don't know if it, I mean, it's more card draw, which is nice. I don't know if it helps with the getting run over by aggro issue. Yes, we talked about the land earlier. I mean, it seems like it could be reasonably good. Secret Gaber. This is awkward, but I think... Wow, okay. We need to find a Gadwick. That's what we're missing. Sublime Epiphany is not the worst. We can get an interesting priest blowout. Glowspore. We want our opponent to go to sacrifice, and then we can counter the trigger and make our opponent sack their board, which would be hilarious. And Golf the Shores would be really good at this deck. Found it, land, and come on. Come on. Priest it up. We want the sweet, sweet, the sweet, sweet 10 for 1, or whatever it is. Uro. Sure. Draws a card, puts a land into play. Boot it. No priesting? Gets in. Sure. Yeah. Silver Smote. Oh, let's scry. Okay, there's Gadwick. That is decent. Draw a card. Main phase. Mana. Corridor Monitor. Untap Nyx Lotus. Gadwick. X6. Well, Thassa's Oracle. Tap down Uro. So we didn't hit another untap spell, but still not bad. And then we can take a Gadwick for next turn. Land and Witching Well. Alright. Well, let's see if we can stay alive. We did have to spend all of our mana. No attacks. Opponent. They can start sacking their dorks. This is going to be super close. The leak was a land. We mostly win with Thassa's Oracle. It was a colorless creature land that was 4 to activate. It starts as a 0/0, and when you activate it, you get to put 2 +1/+1 counters on it. So not confirmed. Just a leaks. It looked realish, but bone it. Gets in. Gets in, gets in, gets in. Draws a card, gains some life. Well, block here. Block here. take 5. Opponent. Okay. We go to 5. Oh, this is our chance, though. Opponent. Oh, as long as they don't... Creeping Chill. Priest. All right. Well, we just got to win this turn. We got a shot. We got a shot. We got a shot. So... Thassa's Oracle. Thassa's Oracle, step 1. Tap down a priest. So we need to find our untapper, ideally. Ooh. Huh. Huh. Okay. Interesting. The rest go on the bottom, so that's fine. We will Gadwick for 12. Okay, there's Corridor Monitor. So we get to Corridor Monitor. Tap something. Untap Nyx Lotus. We should be good now. Now we should be good. We can Arcanist Owl. Yeah. Get a Nyx Lotus. Arcanist Owl. Wow. All right, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Yeah. Yeah, Zach does really cool things. Epiphany. Bounce, copy, draw. So bounce Uro, copy Corridor Monitor, draw a card. Corridor Monitor. Untaps Lotus. Tap Lotus. Baron. Pick up Gadwick. And now we got it for sure. Baron, pick up Gadwick. Gadwick. Actually, let's guarantee it. I think actually first we should Brazen Borrower. Oh, Corridor Monitor rather. Untap, float mana. Sublime Epiphany. Bounce, copy, draw. Bounce a priest, copy Corridor Monitor, draw a card. Untap. Ooh, another Corridor Monitor. Tap. 24 cards in our deck. Gadwick. For 22? Draw it, and then Thassa's Oracle. And game. Oh, boy. Boy, boy, boy. The combos of this deck are so sweet. Well, Ashiok's in, and that's probably all. Ashiok's in, go down a Witching Well, go down a Thassa, run it like that, combo him off. Well, I would definitely recommend this deck. The deck actually, like, the combos are just really spectacular. We'll see. We'll see as we try the other Devotion colors, if we could get something just as spectacular in the other colors. Opponent casts Thought Scour, target you to deck yourself. Yeah, that would have been bad. Who made this deck? I honestly don't know. This is a good example of how deck creation is sticky. So I know people have been playing it. I know Autumn played a version of it, but I technically built the version we're playing, and the part that makes it like stickier is it's like basically the first against the odds deck we played with Theros Beyond Death. Like the core of the deck is like the same. We had more Kioras, but the same combo of Nyx Lotuses, Corridor Monitors, Gadwicks, Thassa's, untapping, winning with Thassa's Oracle. So I don't know. I have no idea who technically created the deck first. Yeah, we got a Gadwick, and Gadwick is good. You should definitely try it out, because the combo turns are super sweet. I would definitely recommend it. If you like drawing cards, and you like the ability to kind of combo in Standard, it's definitely a sweet option. Yeah, the Blue Devotion plan was something that a lot of people, and that's another reason why, like, who created deck is so complicated. Like, when Nyx Lotus was spoiled, and, like, we had Gadwick, we had Thassa's Oracle, a lot of people immediately were like, oh, Blue Devotion seems sweet. So, I don't know. I would consider it a community deck for the most part. Like, it's kind of a fairly obvious idea that a lot of people had at the same time. Have you considered adding Ugin to the side? So we had Ugin in the side of the original. Well, we had 6-mana Ugin when we played it back in January to deal with hard to deal with permanents. It might be worth playing full-on Ugin. Like, that is a sweeper. We do make a lot of mana. I think the hard part is, a lot of times, by the time we have the mana to cast Ugin, we're also just, like, essentially winning the game. Yes, Priest is going to be an issue. This Priest is just going to eat our board away. Well, I found a Nyx Lotus. Booted. Yeah, Priest is pretty good. Priest is really good. 5 Nyx Lotuses would be enough. More than enough to get it done. I really need to start posting and dating my jank brews online because a lot of them get claimed by other brewers. Yeah, I mean, you can. In all honesty, like, I don't even know if it... Personally, I don't even know if it really matters. That's my thinking, at least. Assassin's Trophy. Because the thing is, like, people do come up with similar ideas at the same time, especially in the current era of Magic, where some stuff is, like, pretty obvious. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we're most likely just dead here. This was a really slow hand. Well, play a land. I assume our opponent can kill us? I mean, our opponent has a healthy fear of the Nyx Lotus. I would be surprised if we could win from here. Opponent, mills. Ooh, opponent's got a ton of hate. Return to Nature's, Assassin's Trophies. Alright, so opponent is prepared. Gets it, it says. We could technically shatter with just Lotus and the Owl. That's true. Although, that doesn't really help us, like, on turn 4 for the most part against aggro. Oh. Alright, so opponent. Yeah. Sure. Alright. Last game. Stream slowing down on me keeps buffering. I don't know. Twitch can be funky sometimes. Well, good news is we're getting to the end. This is our last game of the stream. So stick with us. See if we combo off one more super spectacular time. Hopefully, fingers crossed. I mean, I feel like this is a reasonable matchup at least. We get to play first. And we're gonna mulligan that. Oh no! The magic gods frown upon us. Less than optimal, I would say. Oh, so slow. Bottom, bottom. I feel like our odds are reduced. Thassa's Oracle. Well, that can dig for something. I think Ashiok is actually maybe our best immediate find. Yeah, take an Oracle. Pass the turn. Opponent cracks. Priest is an issue. Priest is just so good. Against decks that don't have any removal. And we don't have much removal. We can potentially bounce it to slow it down, but that's about it. Island and Mire Triton. Well, Oracle number 2. 5 cards deep. Whoo. Oh. Gadwick or Ashiok? That's actually really tricky. Noob question, why and how is Commander 1v1 different on Moto? I just played against someone using a bunch of banned cards. So I think that Commander 1v1 has its own rule set compared to like casual multiplayer Commander. So that is the main difference. That it has its own ban list. So it is quite a bit different. Yeah, I think we got to take Ashiok. As much as I love drawing cards, we can get down Ashiok, then worst case we can draw cards with Witching Well. Bonet gets in. Yeah, let's kill it. Temrat calls the dead. Alright. Well, we gave our opponent a zombie.
I leave you.
Exile the graveyard. No attacks. Opponent taps. Alright. Does not get a zombie, which is good. Does Creeping Chill us to 17. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Now we definitely need the card draw. Yeah, 1v1 is weird. I don't think 1v1 is a super popular format at the moment. Huh. Well, Milia, exile your stuff. Pass the turn. Can we find some goodies? Opponent gets to scry. Yeah, you can mill yourself. We don't really have any reason to mill ourselves in this deck, though. In some decks, that is very relevant, though, and helpful. But yeah, our deck doesn't really have any purpose to it. About it. What you got? What you got? Alright, there's the priest. I mean, that'll definitely be an issue in the future. Opponent. Attacks. Well, let's draw 2 cards. See what we draw. Block Silver Smoke. Ashiok to 1. Opponent passes. Well, cash in Ashiok. Milia.
You're final.
Thassa's Oracle. Take Sublime Epiphany. Play a land. Pass the turn. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, we did exile some relevant stuff. We got rid of a Silver Smoke, an Uro, a bunch of random cards. Alright, opponent mills themselves. No Uro, at least. Glowspore mills themselves. Ugh. Well, there's the Creeping Chill and the Silver Smoke returning. Yeah. Opponent gets back Silver Smoke. Well, pass the turn. Ooh. Opponent untaps. Plays a land. Oh, we've kind of spun our... We need a Gadwig to refuel. That's what we really need. Rune isn't banned. I don't think Rune is banned in any format. Rune is definitely a sweet commander. Boat it. Attacks. No blocks. Down to 8. Uro. Are you Zach Wild's kid? Yeah. That's my father. How'd you know? Counter, bounce, copy, draw. Yeah, Priest is really good. So I think the next step for this deck is playing essentially the same deck, but splashing into another color to have removal. I think that's the next way forward. So opponent, yeah. We're down to 6. They can replay their Priest. Priest returns. I'll play Cavalier of Gales. Put back Thassa's Oracle in Gadwick. Land, Brazen Borrower. Bounce the Priest. Pass the turn. Oh my goodness. Oh, they have the land for Uro. Alright, so untap land for Uro. Demir with Surveil. I would probably just go white, honestly. That would be my first choice, I think. Just go white to have, like, Shatter and, I don't even know, some sort of maybe targeted removal. But I think the Sweeper would be the big one. I guess you could also go red. Opponent goes with Binding of the Titans. That's actually super bad for us. They milled 3 cards that we really needed to draw. Wow. Yeah, this matchup is bad for us in some very awkward ways. Like getting wrecked by Binding of the Titans, for example. And we draw land. Oh, not like this. Yeah, I mean, Nyx Lotus is our main card, but it doesn't help us here. And I think that should be game. Draw a couple cards. We found another Gadwick, but it's too late. Our opponent can sack, and we're at 3. And yeah, that's that is the game. Ugh. Well, putting back Gadwick is a way to play around discard spells, which are way more commonly played than Binding of the Titans, which we hadn't seen this entire match. So I think that putting it on the top of your deck is normally a way to protect it from discard, but I mean, sometimes people play really weird things. Yeah, but we just don't have a way to win. We could Brazen and sack the Brazen and go to 1, but then we still just lose. Like, there's no way to win from that position. So, on that note, that brings us to the end. So what do we learn tonight? Overall, we are around 50-50. New standard. It does feel improved. Expect to play Uro. The rate of Uros has not decreased. The metagame has gotten more diverse, but expect to play Uros 50% of the time in some form or another. It is the card of standard still, so be prepared for Uros, exile effects, graveyard hate effects. Arkbow, I think the idea is fun, but sadly, it just doesn't seem powerful enough. We're just playing, like, cute, synergistic, enter the battlefield stuff, and our opponents are just like, oh, Nissa, Uro. Not enough power to keep up with the top-tier decks. Mono Blue, it doesn't do well against aggro. I think maybe splashing into another color would be the best way to solve that problem. But it does have some insane combo potential, and if you're not playing against aggro, like, every match we played with this deck, if we played against a dedicated aggro deck, we pretty much lost. If we played against anything else, we just pretty much crushed them. So I think that's the next step for Mono Blue. But the spoilers, the combo turns are spectacular, and you do really cool things and draw tons of cards. So I really like that deck. It's a super fun deck. But on that note, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for tonight and for the week. So we will be back on Monday with the next one. In the meantime, if you missed anything, you can find out the replay YouTube, normal YouTube, ton of stuff going up tonight. Crim video tonight, Commander Clash tomorrow, sweet Matcha Brew. It's going to be a fun one. On Sunday, keep it out for that. And one more reminder that our sponsor tonight is Card Kingdom. And if you need some magical cards, maybe you want to pre-order some Double Masters, get some Core Set 2021 cards, or just get whatever. You can get them at cardkingdom.com, even get a free Scoop Soldier sticker. Just let them know you want one in your order notes. Most importantly, thank you to all of you, because y'all are amazing. Y'all make this so worth it. It's so much fun, and seriously, it is awesome. I always look forward to hanging out with you on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Mondays. So we will be back on Monday is our next stream. Having tons of fun, trying to figure out someone to raid here. Who should we raid? I'm trying to figure out a good raid target. I don't know. I'm gonna pick someone and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's a good decision. All right, we got a random raid. So I'll see y'all on Monday. Y'all are amazing. I love y'all. Thank you so much for being awesome. Have a great weekend. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon.